And we are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. Thank you for joining me tonight. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me live in the show, and I appreciate y'all for that. We got a whole lot going on all over the internets, all over mainstream media, social media, everywhere, and I don't know where to start as usual. We have Will Smith apologizing to Chris Rock 45 years later. I mean, good grief. You could have had a whole family of four, graduate college, have kids, go to the moon, have a career and everything. And the time that it took for Will Smith to apologize to Chris Rock publicly, not on a written statement, not on a third party communication. No, himself. I'll talk about that in a little bit later. Monkeypox is sweeping some parts of the nation, not most parts of the nation. It's 98% in one small group. I'll talk about that a little bit later. Uncle Tom 2. Great movie. Had a chance to watch it early. Shout out to the whole Uncle Tom team. Larry Elder, Chad Jackson, and the squad. We'll talk about that. And also Uncle Tom 1. And if I make a cameo here in the movie, we'll see. Shout out to the Ohio officer versus the N-word. I guess she was having a really bad day that went from bad to worse because of the body cam. We'll talk about that. Biden passed the Inflation Reduction Act by spending more money. How is that going to help? I don't know. We'll talk about all those things and more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And thank y'all again for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on the internet. If you enjoyed what you were hearing thus far, if you enjoy the content, please give the video a thumbs up. Also, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. We got quite a few topics on deck. Shout out to all my sponsors. As always, y'all know how I do at the very beginning of each show. Shout out to me, ablmerch.com. You already know what it is. You can get hats, t-shirts, stickers, hoodies, mugs, and more right there on the site, ablmerch.com. Also, go to anthonyblogan.com. That is ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN.com. You can find an article for each video that I produce where I'm speaking on it. So if you have a question, hey, where'd that stat come from about monkeypox? Where'd that stat come from about this or about that? Well, just go to the website. It'll be right there, right in front of your very eyes. Easy peasy is 1, 2, 3. Very simple. Couldn't get no more simple than that. So AnthonyBLogan.com. Check it on out. Also, what else we got going on? We got ABL merch, Anthony B. Logan. Oh, of course, when you go to AnthonyBLogan.com, you also have to go to the contact page to find my email address, my snail mail address, all that good stuff. And also my other social media accounts, my Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all that's right there on the site. Again, AnthonyBLogan.com/contact. And I got to put this PSA out there for all you guys that, you read comments, you get comments. I will never, ever ask you for your personal information. So if you see some person talking about, what they talk about? They talk about WhatsApp or cryptocurrency or anything like that. If it looks kind of weird or too good to be true, it probably is. It's not me. Do not get scammed. I've gotten quite a few emails of people because sometimes you're not quite looking all the way and you're not really realizing what's happening. So please do not get scammed. Do not let these fake accounts fool you. All right. So if you ever get a question about, hey, who am I, getting emails from? What's going on? If you ever got a question, just go to my website and you'll be able to find out what's going on right there. Again, that's AnthonyBLogan.com. Also, go to bhedesigns.com. That's BHEDESIGNS.com to get these beautiful handmade wooden flags that are right behind me. You can get ones that are just like that or whatever you desire. And just go to the website, tell them I sent you. Links for everything will always be in the description box. And what else we got? Oh, of course, patriotpost.us, the best source of news and information anywhere on the internet. That is patriotpost.us. All my links will be in the description. And of course, this is a podcast you're listening to right now. We're recording live, and it'll be available on all your favorite audio streaming platforms. at 8 a.m. the very next day on Eastern time. So, for example, right now it's 8 p.m. Eastern time on the East time on the East Coast. It's 8 p.m. on the East. It'll be available audio only 8 a.m. on Sunday, wherever you are on the East Coast time. And then for the Wednesday show, it'll be available Thursday at 8 a.m. Eastern. For free, whether you are on Apple iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, Anchor, it doesn't really matter. Just go to your favorite audio streaming platform and search ABL Live. I should pop right on up. There's also a link in the description for everything. Like I say, if you ever get a question about where something is, you can go to the description and it will be right there. So we got quite a few topics on deck for the night. I'm not really sure where to begin. I could talk about pretty much everything. I got quite a few videos for y'all. Y'all know how I like to put out videos, like little things, because sometimes a video is not really worth necessarily an entire video. And I can't really sit here and talk for 10 minutes about something that is pretty cut and dry sometimes. So I may do a short, or I may just put out videos in a live stream and talk about it briefly there and to get you guys commentary while I'm watching it with you live. So I'll get to those a little bit later. I think I want to start with, where do I start? Let's start with the Australian Rugby team who sat 7 players because they refused to wear the Pride Night jerseys. Now, a lot of you guys have been telling me about this. A lot of you guys sent me emails. Shout out to y'all who sent me emails about this. But there were 7 guys for the, I don't want to get it wrong, the Manly, is it the Sea Eagles? Yeah. So the Manly Sea Eagles and an Australian Rugby League were fighting for playoff contention. So I'm not sure how it goes. Maybe it's like the NBA, NFL, where there's conferences, maybe the whole league. Either way it goes, for them to make the playoffs, they have to reach the 8th spot as far as their record, wins and losses, if I'm not mistaken. And when this whole thing happened, they were in the 9th spot. So if you sit 7 players and they're probably great contributors to the team, you're probably going to lose and you may not be able to get your playoff spot, which means you're not in the running to win the title, the championship, or whatever they call it. Now, if you're an 8th seed or a 7 or a 6, if you're low in the seedings, it's kind of hard for low seeds to win, as far as I know. I mean, in basketball, it's like that. Football is like that. Well, definitely basketball. Football is a different story because any given Sunday, whatever can happen. But basketball is like that. If you're the 8th seed, good luck in winning the championship. It almost never happens. But you're not even in the running if you're out of the playoffs. So they sat 7 guys because they did not want to wear the Pride Night jerseys. Now, it was so weird because they said that they said that guys didn't even really know about the Pride Night jerseys, but everybody else in the whole world almost knew about it. The Prime Minister of Australia knew about it a month beforehand. Now, how does a Prime Minister know about it? Like, that's like the president. It's like if it was Trump, he knew about it, but you don't know about it and you're on the team. How does it make any sense? Shouldn't they inform the players before they do anything like that? Or wouldn't they just know from being around the team? I'm not sure if it's true that the players didn't know about it. I think the damage control is the players didn't know about it. They were taken off guard and they didn't know how to really handle it. That's what I think happened. Yeah, the politics really shouldn't be in sport. And that's exactly what has happened to sports, unfortunately. They've infused politics into it, just like your man, remember Bob Costas, the news anchor? He'd come on television and be talking about politics in halftime. It's like, man, can you please stop? I just want to see, I just want to watch the game. I don't want to have all this extra stuff just shoved in my face. Please. Can you please stop? That's what I like to do. Just go ahead and stop and have that be that. But let me go ahead and just move forward. So they refused to wear the jerseys. Now, let me see if I can find the video, because the manager or the coach, whatever they want to call him, he had this big apology. And the apology, when you watch the news clip, the apology that you see, it doesn't do justice to see the clip, because he went on and on. He was talking about Gandhi. I mean, all types of stuff. He was going completely, how the cool kids say, he was going ham. He was off his rocker with that apology, because I think the whole point of the Pride Night was to get in the good graces of the LGBT community. And when you got 7 guys that refuse to wear it, all of a sudden now you're losing that which you put the Pride Night jersey on to begin with. So it's like defeating the purpose. If you're going to wear the Pride Night jersey, you might as well salvage that bridge. Because if you can't, what's the point in wearing it? You might as well have everybody not wear it. And if you do something like that, that's going to be worse, because it's like, oh, you're going back on your pledge. You're an Indian giver. You're racist. You kowtow to a few bigoted players, although they're not bigoted. They have their own cultural and religious beliefs. You know, it's weird when you're talking about anyone that's a Christian, or definitely Christian, but if you're any other faith aside from Islam, and you say that you don't appreciate certain things like homosexuality or whatever, then you're considered a bigot and your religion is bigoted. But they don't do that to the Islamic people. Okay, when you go to Saudi, Dubai, Kuwait, etc., and they outlaw homosexuality, like you can go to jail for some of that type of stuff. You can get locked up for doing that type of stuff, or killed like on the spot, old school, like lynching, and it's fine in their country. Nobody says anything about that. That's just their culture. We gotta respect their culture and their beliefs. But everyone else, you can't do that. Now, some are gonna say, well, it's their own country. They can do what they want. People want to stick their noses into other countries and see how they do things. Okay, Russia is not doing this right. Russia's not doing that right. This country in Africa, they're not doing this and doing that. We got to go over there and intervene and make things right. Even with China, you want to go over there and poke your nose into what China is doing. And I got to talk about China in just a moment before I get done with the whole Manly Sea. Well, after I get done with the Manly Sea Eagles thing, I got to talk about China and Nancy Pelosi. I mean, imagine a foreign country threatening to murk or smoke or whack. Imagine a foreign country threatening to whack a sitting U.S. Congresswoman. Yo, come to Taiwan if you want to. We'll kill you. What? I'll talk about that a little bit later. I mean, China don't care. You know, one thing about China, I'm not gonna like give them a whole lot of credit, but the thing about them, they don't really care. They'll pretty much do anything within reason. They're not gonna do totally dumb things, but they don't really care. It's weird when I hear about China dealing with Africa, especially. They say, oh, they're better than the Europeans. Please. The Chinese have no empathy. The Chinese would just as quickly kill every African before they would do anything altruistic like the Europeans would do. The Europeans would be altruistic to the Africans. The Europeans would go over there and build things that have lasted for 1,000 years, infrastructure that actually makes sense. They would try to give them things, libraries, and like they would try to give them things that can last. Some would say that they're trying to, like, it's an uneven exchange, but what's uneven when you talk about China when they do stuff like this? So China, here's how they operate. Hey, you guys, you want a new seaport in some coastal country, South Africa, whatever, Mozambique, not Somalia, somewhere where they have some kind of functioning government. Do you guys need a seaport? Yes? Okay, cool. Well, check it out. No, you guys are kind of hard on money. The Europeans don't want to do it for you. We'll build you a seaport and we'll give you a great loan. You'll be able to pay it back, right? Right? Okay, cool. You can pay it back, but check it out. If you don't pay it back, we're going to take it away from you and we're going to use it for the Chinese military. They knew from the beginning that they couldn't pay it back because it was a trick from the beginning. They knew they couldn't pay it back. They do that all over the world. So when they can't pay it back, all of a sudden China has a foreign military outpost. Oh, they're not imperialistic. I can't tell. They got foreign military outposts all over the world. They got one in Sri Lanka because that was a big protest about that. I think they took the Sri Lanka port. They took a port in Djibouti, which is right there in the Gulf of Aden, if I'm not mistaken. Or no, pardon me, the Red Sea. It's right there in the Red Sea. Like, in the Gulf of Aden. Yep. So right where the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden connect, right at where Yemen and all, where the war is happening. They got a military base right there. So anything that comes through that particular thing, like oil, goods, going to the Mediterranean Sea, going to Europe, China will be able to kind of intercept that. And then they have the South China Sea, of course. China don't care. They don't care at all. I don't know how I got down this whole China road, but I want people to understand who the real threat is. Russia is no threat to the United States. Russia is just a country just trying to feed its people. There's no threat. The whole Ukraine thing, I mean, you know what? Here's a hot take. Here's a hot take, and if you're mad about it, hey, I can't do nothing for you. I suggest you seek therapy. I suggest you talk to somebody, a counselor, a guidance counselor, your mama, your daddy, somebody. Don't talk to me about it. But Ukraine is the same as Russia. It's the same as Russia. It's the same people. Language is slightly different. Different accent. Okay, Ukrainian versus Russian. Same alphabet. It's the same people. Keep it all the way real, because Kiev, Ukraine, that Kiev and Rus, they went from Kiev and Rus out to Moscow to settle that, to go further out to claim more land. But they all came from Kiev, Ukraine. It's the same people, the same Slavic. What's going on right now is a Slavic civil war. Why are we sending them billions of dollars? For what? Why? It's because we got financial interests over there in Ukraine. We want Ukraine for ourselves. We don't want Russia to have influence over Ukraine, although Ukraine is the same as Russia. Hey, don't get mad at me. They want to split Ukraine further away. It is what it is. Poland, the same thing. Now, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. But Belarus, Latvia, all of that. The thing is that a lot of these countries want to have their independence to make their country operate better than it did under USSR. That's just what it is. But at the end of the day, culturally, ethnically, it's the same people. The beef, as far as I know, is over how the countries are operated and the government. That's it. That's really all there is to it. Think about California versus Florida or something like that. That's kind of what's going on. And it's not even that big of a cultural divide. Not even. But my whole point to that was China is a threat, not Russia. The whole Ukraine thing has been a mess from the beginning, a complete mess. Why are we giving them so much money when there's all kind of conflict happening all over the world? There's conflict all over the world. Why is Ukraine so important? Why is Ukraine so central to our aid effort? It's because we have financial interests over there. When I say we, I mean Joe Biden and Hunter Biden, the crack smoking son and the dementia dad who has no idea what's going on. They have no idea what's going on. All right. Yeah, I know Polish, they're not like the Russians. I took that one back. I was talking about Ukraine. But Ukraine, it gets, I think once you get further out west in Ukraine, you get to be more like Poland. Like Lviv and all of that kind of stuff. That's more. But once you, Kiev, Ukraine, Mother Russia, it is what it is. But I will go ahead and digress away from that point. I forgot what the original thing was that I was talking about. I think I was talking about, Australia. And speaking about China, China has a lot of influence over Australia as well. They have a lot of influence over Australia. And you saw that during the whole scamdemic, how they were treating their own citizens. It was really bad. So I support the guys that decided they didn't want to wear the pride flag jersey on a particular night for the rugby team. And you know that they really are supported. They really believe in what they say they believe in, because you're talking about the playoff time. It's very important. Your team could go to the playoffs and play more games. That's potentially more money, potentially more looks from other teams if you perform well in the playoffs. So, yeah, that was a big move that they did, a big move they made. So shout out to them. Let me see if I can find a particular clip right quick. Hold on. What's that? The Manly Sea Eagles? Yeah. Let me see if I can find that right quick. All right. And it's weird because, you know, the news over there, they kind of get things twisted as well. They'll say, oh, well, the Sea Eagles will play with the jerseys, but 7 guys didn't play. So some guys did play, but not all the guys. You see how they do with the mainstream media? They don't tell you the full story. I don't need to play the clip. You guys may have seen the video already. If you have not seen the video where the coach was profusely apologizing, the link to that will be on my website. Just go to the article that corresponds with that particular video, and you'll be able to see it right there. Oh, but a lot of the guys that refused to play were Pacific Islanders, like Tongan, Samoan. So you already know. I know a few Pacific Islanders, real cool, super laid back guys. Shout out to the Hawaiians, Tongan, Samoan, everybody. People from Guam, all over the place. Super cool, laid back, big, strong, just tanks. Think The Rock. I think The Rock's mom is Samoan and his dad is black. Yeah, they strong as oxes and super cool. And flip-flops will slam you on the ground with no problem. But I don't think if I go to Tonga or Samoa, I'm going to see a big pride fest going down the center of the island. I don't think that I'm really going to see that. That's not really what I think of when I think about Tongan culture. I'm thinking about Jason Momoa and Aquaman and stuff like. I'm thinking tattoos on your face and the haka dance. I ain't thinking about LGBT. Maybe in Australia, with the European descendants that have more of a Western ideology, and New Zealand perhaps, but not with the Pacific Islanders, with the more old school traditional culture. That's not really what I think about. Okay, you think about the LGBT stuff more in Western Europe, not even in Eastern Europe, not even Poland, Russia, Ukraine. Gay marriage is illegal in Ukraine, but somehow the LGBTs and everybody on the left want to support Ukraine. Okay, but when we say we want to have gay marriage be a state's issue, at least over here, then we're the worst country on planet Earth. It doesn't make any sense at all. And what's Ukraine's laws on abortion? Is abortion legal in Ukraine? I'm not really sure that it is. If it's not illegal, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, the Russians, all of them, they don't really play that kind of stuff. They don't really do that. Okay, once you get past Germany, it's not the same as you would think it is in a place like Amsterdam or Paris or London. It's not that way. That's more of a Western European thing. All right. Okay, Dwight Dow says, aloha ABL, please say Polynesian, not Pacific Islanders. All right, well, shout out to the Polynesians. I don't know the correct terms. I just think about everybody over there in that part of the world. But aloha, right back to you, boss. All right, and what else we got going on? If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all of that good stuff. Now, let's talk about let's talk about the Ohio officer. Now, the Ohio officer got caught on tape shouting the N-word. Is she a racist? Possibly. I don't know. I can't really tell from that particular outburst. She might be, but what I think is going on more than anything is that this officer was having a really bad day, and I think she's been having a few bad days over the past couple of years. I'm not sure what's going on in her personal life. Maybe the scamdemic didn't get to her. I don't know what's going on, but something is awry with this officer. Because here's the whole thing. Let's watch some of this. If you didn't see the video, I'm gonna just watch this video right quick of the whole body cam incident. I think she was working at a school. You know how they have the school let out. It'd be an officer there trying to direct traffic. Maybe she was doing something like that. That's what it appears to be. But I think she was doing that, and she was upset from the very beginning that day, just over some small things. It was like a road rage type situation. And if you are an officer having road rage over small things like a middle finger being brought up, you need to kind of just take a break for a minute and reevaluate yourself. Like, hey, am I really built for this job? Can I handle the stress of the job? Because it's definitely going to be a stressful job. It's going to be a stressful job. I see it right there. Women always have bad days. That's correct. Certain times of the month, you already know what time it is. Hey, and don't nobody get offended when I say that. I'm just speaking the facts. But clearly this was a bad day, and she's had bad days before. So let's go ahead and look at this here.
Now at 11, racial slurs made by a Cincinnati police officer in uniform. Recently released body cam footage here shows Rose Valentino using a racial slur and also admitting to it.
WCPO 9 News reporter Jake Ryle walks us through this footage.
The city manager in a statement said that the body camera footage is disturbing. Officer Rose Valentino called it an isolated incident, her using a racial slur while on duty.
It's April 5th. Officer Rose Valentino.
Now, I got a question for you guys. What is that in her hand? Is that a pair of sunglasses? Is that like a little notebook? That's what it appears to be. I mean, I'm not really sure. Maybe you guys who are officers can clear that up for me. Why is she driving with a notebook in her hand? I don't really understand why she do that.
Officer Rose Valentino is pulling into CPD District 3. Several cars are parked to pick up students at Western Hills University High School. Officer Valentino activated her lights and siren to get the drivers to move.
You gotta move. Ridiculous.
So already right here, she's upset. Cussing and fussing and everything instantly, right away. You got a problem. You got some issues. You got to be able to hold yourself together on the job. Like what could have been so bad right there that just set you off? People just not moving out the way, slow pokes, normies, just doing what they do. You know, I have that kind of thing happen all the time in the parking lot. You know, I'm in Whole Foods or whatever, trying to get out of the parking lot. People waddling across diagonally. Why? Can you go on a straight line, please, ma'am? Take your 5 little ninjas and whatnot with you. But anyway.
Ridiculous. Is she gonna just sit there?
A black teen who was leaving school raised his middle finger at Officer Valentino, which set Valentino off.
Oh, I hate him so much. God, I hate this world.
I hate this world. I mean, like, apparently, I think somebody said it in the chat. Probably dealing with it every day. It's the same old thing, just getting irritated, getting frustrated. This is not even, this is probably a buildup of the same old kind of just silly behavior. But again, if you're going to work the job, you got to understand people are like that. These normies, these mouth breathers, they do stuff like this. So you can't be getting so upset to where it affects you personally. You got to just be able to just accept that as being what it is and move forward with your life. You can't be harping on that mentally, because all it's going to do is affect you negatively. It won't make them stop being normies and mouth breathers. It's going to just make you be upset.
Hate it.
Several seconds pass. Valentino then uses a racial slur under her breath.
Hate him.
We dug into Officer Valentino's personnel file.
Now, I ain't going to play all of this. Basically, they dug in the personnel file. It was pretty good as far as her evaluation, but there was a lawsuit she was involved with because there was a black male showing a home to another black male, real estate agent. He was showing them the home, and then they got arrested. They had guns drawn on them, but it didn't get hurt. And then it was a Britney Spears type situation. Let's play that one right there. And I think that'll tell you what's going on with her mentally and why she probably shouldn't be on the job. Not because I'm offended at the N-word. That's not really that deep to me, in my humble opinion. I think that she needs to take a break at least, because she's having some problems.
And a hardworking reprimanded in the past for not turning on her. Officer Valentino has been on the city's radar for an issue in lawsuit where aiming her gun at the two men and then putting them in handcuffs. The city settled the case for $151,000. And in March 2020, while off duty, she pushed and punched 2 family members and used an umbrella to damage a car.
Why? You pushed and punched 2 family members and used the umbrella to damage a car? I mean, have we not seen have we not seen this before? have we not seen this? Hold on. Are we not familiar with what's going on here? Like, remember this? So I think Brittany was in the car. If you can't see it, I'm gonna turn the sign off because they probably try to strike me on this one. But I guess somebody's driving Britney Spears some kind of sedan. They pull into the gas station. Brittany is in the passenger seat, bald-headed. They taking pictures of her right in front of the windshield. She's not feeling it at all. She's like, yo, y'all gotta get away from me. This is not really what it is. Okay. So that's the mobile gas station. They're showing that. I'm not really sure why. Maybe to tell everybody where they are. Can we get some old gas prices for a little bit of nostalgia for some good fuels? Can we get like 99 cents on the gas? Man, remember some good times. So she's in the car and they're still taking pictures. I guess at this point they had left the gas station and paparazzi still following. So then Brittany gets out of the vehicle and hold on, did she hit the car? Because I got to see that part where she hit the car with the umbrella. Okay, she hit the car with the umbrella, but I didn't see it. So that part was kind of hard to see in this. But anyway, she hit the car with the umbrella. And I'm going to show you some pictures that it took of her hitting the car with the umbrella. So that right there, that lets me know, because at this particular point in Britney Spears' life, people are like, hey, something's wrong with her. She's not all the way wrapped too tight. You see what I'm saying? So I think the officer's going through the same thing. Hold on one second. A lot of you guys may not have seen that episode of Britney Spears' life, but I remember that. I remember the pictures weren't anything. Hold on one second. Yeah, there we go. Here we go. Yeah, so that is what I think about when I think the officer attacked two family members and then damaged your car with her umbrella. That's what I'm thinking about right there. Bald-head Britney Spears acting a complete fool, frustrated by the paparazzi. Now, if you're doing that as a police officer, you got more issues than the N-word. That's not even really the point. That's at that point, the N-word is over there. Let's deal with your mental right now. Let's get you some professional help. So yeah, definitely tighten up on that. Speaking about professional help, let's pivot to Mr. Will Smith. Now, for real, like when I saw that Will Smith had apologized to Chris, I didn't even really want to do that video. But I had to. I needed to give my 2 cents on it. I didn't want to, but I had to. If I wasn't compelled to do that video, I wouldn't have done it. Because I don't want to hear from Will Smith anymore. I'm finished with Will Smith, personally. You know, we're talking about, well, I reached out to Chris, and then Chris, he wasn't ready. So, Chris, whenever you're ready, I'm here to talk. It's like, nah, I ain't trying to talk to you, sir. You slapped me on television. I'm wearing a Tom Ford tuxedo jacket hosting the Oscars. You slapped me in front of the whole world. It was done in Japanese and German and French and Portuguese. You slapped me in front of the whole world over a joke. A joke? Oh, Chris Rock did everything right. He did everything right, because imagine if Chris Rock and Will Smith get to fighting like mutual combat on stage, tuxedo jackets. Oh man, that right there, that really burned my biscuits to the core. Burned my biscuits. But I didn't really want to hear from Will Smith. I did not want to hear from Will Smith anymore. I was like, you know what? I'm finished with Will. Wild Wild West and Fresh Prince, all that good stuff. I'm through. It was a good run, Will Smith, for your career. You had a lot of great classics. I Am Legend, great movie. Fresh Prince, great TV show. Just like Bill Cosby, The Cosby Show, fantastic. I even like Ghost Dad, Whoopi Goldberg, and all them too. I like his old comedy specials. But, sir, speaking about Bill Cosby, you are despicable outside of your career. You're a despicable human being. You're the scum of the earth. R. Kelly, Bill Cosby, all these guys. Harvey Weinstein. How you going to watch? Like, I don't know, man. Will obviously did not do anything that bad. He wasn't drugging in assaulting women for 40 years like Bill Cosby. He didn't have a harem of 13-year-old girls like R. Kelly, obviously. But what he did was just, I don't want to hear his excuses. Wait, you know what Will could do? What Will could do is this. Come out with some fantastic content, some fantastic, movies, some videos or whatever. Maybe I could look past the slap. Maybe. And also, I don't know. I think it's pretty much done. I think it's pretty much done because you know what? It would have been better if Will Smith apologized to Chris Rock right away. Now, I don't mean that statement he put out on Instagram, a written statement. That's not an apology. That's not an apology. Apology is like if it's me right here, you see me, I'm on videotape. I say, hey, Chris Rock, I apologize to you. I was sorry. That's not my character. I lost my cool. Can you please forgive me? I beg for your forgiveness. That's an apology, not some PR statement on Instagram, a black and white picture, and not even your face on it, Jank. That is not an apology. It took you 4 months to apologize. So that right there, you were dancing at the after party with the Oscar, dancing with it. You gave an apology speech, not apology. You gave a acceptance speech after you won the Oscar, crying and carrying on, talking about why you did it and jaded this, jaded that. So to bring it on back, Will Smith has some definite issues with his mental capacity, with his mental state. The elevator is not going all the way to the top floor. He's a few trees short of an entire forest, a few crayons short of an entire 64 count box. Okay, a few fries short of a Happy Meal. You understand? That's just kind of what's going on with Big Willie, right? Now he put it on his YouTube page. That's not. I got a question about that too. So okay, here's a question about Will Smith. Will Smith, is this content for you, sir? Like, am I watching content? Is it something that's going to help you build your YouTube page? Because he's been posting a lot on YouTube and social media in general, trying to take that whole game over, right? So is this content for you, sir? If it's not, I can't tell. If it's not, I can't tell. Oh, ABL is okay. I'm totally fine. I'm fine. I don't know if Will Smith is fine. Will Smith may not be fine. he may not be fine. All right. So hold on. Let me go ahead and play some of this. I want you guys to see what I see as far as Will Smith's mental state.
And the complexities of what happened in that moment. And
hold on. Let's see because you're talking about why it took so long right here.
This is.
I mean, okay. Is it not content? Look, you got this whole stage. You got LED lights, multiple camera angles. Is this not content? Because check it out. You could have done this apology on your cell phone, in your room, and anywhere. You could have just been in your crib, put it on a tripod, and done it that way. This is content. I don't want to hear that. Okay, you put it on your own YouTube page. Oh, and by the way, I have this this extension on Chrome that shows you how many dislikes a video has. No, YouTube, they want to try to hide it, but I can see how many likes versus dislikes. So this video has 2.6 million views. It's number 5 on trending right now on YouTube, number 5 overall. Had 92,000 likes and 144,000 dislikes. So that's a pretty strong like to dislike ratio. People don't really like what he's saying here. They don't want to hear this excuse. It's like, man, you did what you did and you took forever to apologize. Not everyone's going to accept that.
Probably irreparable. I spent the last 3 months replaying and understanding the nuances and the complexities of what happened in that moment. And I'm not going to try to unpack all of that right now, but I can say to all of you, there is no part of me that thinks that was the right way to behave in that moment.
I give him a bone though. I'm glad he did apologize, but the circumstances, how long it took, what he did, I'm just not really trying to hear it. I don't care to hear it. But I received the fact that he's apologizing, that he's at least doing this. But I also see this as content, and he is an actor. That's right, he is an actor, a professional, trained, multi-millionaire, probably a billionaire at this point, Hollywood actor with his own production company. You remember the whole thing with Oscar So White that Jada Pinkett Smith, his wife, started? She was complaining about the Oscars not having enough black nominees for best film or whatever. Basically, not enough black folks in the Oscars. This is probably like 6 years ago. I remember I covered it right here on this channel 5-6 years ago. But anyway, so one thing that she didn't say is that Will has a production company called Overbrook. And that production company makes all of his movies. Wild Wild West, I Am Legend, Men in Black, if I'm not mistaken. All of his movies are produced by his own production company. So he has the ability to cast black people like Tyler Perry. He is like Tyler Perry on the low. See, Tyler Perry's more hands-on. He's making the wigs by hand, I suppose. He has his own Tyler Perry Studios, and he probably will film content at his own house. Tyler Perry's more hands-on. He's more over the face of Tyler Perry Studios. But Will is the same as Tyler Perry, just on the low. He makes all of his own movies with his own production company. But yet, when has Will Smith broken or introduced a brand new black actor, aside from his own son, Jaden Smith? But Oscar So White, but your husband has the ability to put black actors in big budget movies, but doesn't. The only black guy in the Will Smith movie is Will Smith. But I digress. So after the whole Oscar So White thing, the Oscars gets real black. You got Questlove and Will Packer and Will Smith and Chris Rock, and you take that particular night when what your wife wanted comes to fruition, your wife gave you a look because of a joke, and you just destroyed, you destroyed that whole night. The whole night. Oh, boy. That burned my biscuits to the pan. I'm talking about, you can't scrape them off the pan. The pan is totally just charred. It's no bread at all. It's just dust. Burn my biscuits to the core. Anyway, I'm getting real triggered, so I will digress. Thank y'all for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on the internet. So if you enjoy what you are hearing thus far, please give the video a thumbs up, like that video, share that video, do all that good stuff. And what else we got going on here? Oh, Monkeypox. Now, shout out to my man, Ned Ryan, for just saying what the reality is. Now, look, don't nobody get offended. Don't nobody get triggered. But I'm just saying, a peer-reviewed study says that 98% of those who have been, I guess you would say, infected by this disease known as monkeypox, 98% of those who've been affected by this disease are gay males with a median age of 38. And if you don't know about median versus average, median, and if I'm wrong, let me know. The median age is when you put all the ages of those who have monkeypox in a list in order from the oldest age to the youngest age. Put it in order, and you point right in the middle. The median age is 38%. 98% of those who have this particular thing are gay males, not gay women, gay males. Why? We know what's going on. We know how they fornicate. And I won't get too graphic right here because we got little babies watching, but you already know what time it is. You know what's going on. Oh, here's a stat right here. 80% of those who have monkeypox in Georgia are black males. I wonder why. I wonder where they live at. I wonder what they're doing. You can put 2 and 2 together, can't you? You could put 2 and 2 together and get 4. Huh? We know where the black gay mecca is. We know what's going on. These are just facts. Now, you can get monkeypox if you're not a gay male, but what are the chances of you getting it? If 98% of those who have it are gay males, let's just stop playing games. Matter of fact, I read the vaccine requirement from New York Department of Health last time. I read it one more time, guys, if you guys didn't see it. I'll read it one more time for you guys if y'all weren't here on the last show. But I gotta just bring the facts to the table. You understand? I don't like dealing with what ifs and maybes and all this and that and the third. I'm gonna give you the real deal, the real spiel. Because one thing I don't do is deal in false information. I always provide sources. If I say something, I know about it. If I don't know something, I say I don't know. I'll be like, if you ask me something, if you ask me, hey, ABL, what's your opinion on this? Hey, man, I don't know too much about that if I don't know about it. And if I do know about it, then I'll give you my opinion. That's pretty much how I operate. Okay, here it is. Let's read it one more time if you didn't see it last time. Okay, so here it is. This is from Vax, VAX 4, the number 4, nyc.nyc.gov. Okay, there's a vaccine for monkeypox that's available. It's out there. Okay, and when you see the line of people that are getting it, they're mostly pretty young gay men, or young men, pardon me. I can't tell if they're gay or not. But in order for you to get the vaccine, you must have these 3 criteria to get the vaccine. You must have all 3 criteria. So you got to be gay, bisexual, or other man who has sex with men, and or are transgender, gender nonconforming, or gender non-binary. Got to be age of 18 or older and have had multiple or anonymous sex partners in the last 14 days. This is straight from the government's website. So when someone says, hey, you know what, those who are affected are gay males, you got a peer-reviewed study. The government of New York State is saying this is what's going on. If you say something like that, it shouldn't be seen as homophobia. It should be seen as just a reality. It doesn't really matter if somebody's offended. You can't get offended by the truth. I mean, you can get offended by the truth, but your offense does not change the truth, right? So when my man Ned Ryan jumps out there and says, hey, you know, there's a surefire way to avoid the whole situation, to you know, not do a certain thing. Let me see if I can find that video right quick so he could say it better than I can. But once he says that, it shouldn't be seen as any kind of offensive thing. It should be seen as the truth, because that's what it is. It's the truth. And that's it. Hold on one second. Here we go. So if you got little kids watching, cover their ears, but you already know what's going to happen here. What Ned Ryan says, you won't see anything crazy. It's just his particular choice of words might be a little spicy.
As for monkeypox, I think there's a pretty good rule in life. Don't attend gay orgies. When you look at the New England Journal's report of the 528 cases they reviewed,
they're mad. It's like, look, the whole panel is this is Fox News, by the way. This is Fox News. The whole panel is mad. My man over here, you already know what time it is with him. Like I said, you could pretty much, you don't got to be Albert Einstein to figure out what's happening here. I mean, I'm not necessarily going to judge you by how you look all the time, but we know the subject matter, we know the context, and I see this Clark Kent swoop bang type deal going on here. Is that a toupee or just a nice, pretty hairstyle? I can't really tell. Kennedy, who I just cannot stand, she's mad. Marie Harf, of course, she's going to be mad too.
Dude.
Ned, come on, man.
It's not about gay.
Come on, man. Come on, what?
Gay. How about not any?
Okay.
Go look at the New England Journal's report that NBC News reported on Friday, in which of the 528 cases they reviewed, 95% were sex between men. I think we actually have to have a serious conversation about where this is coming from. When I'm done, Brad, you can talk.
Stop over-talking him. Like, why over-talk him? He's speaking the truth. He's citing an actual peer-reviewed study. This is not some kind of conspiracy theory. This is not anything other than what they say, believe in the science, right? Trust the science. He's citing a peer-reviewed study, and they don't want to hear it because it hurts their fifis, it hurts their feelings.
Instead of going crazy and declaring a national pandemic when 3,000 people have it right now, it's insane.
I don't know, man. You don't have to be gay to get monkeypox, and you don't have to be bigoted when you talk about...
Bigoted?
Treating something that is that easily spread, Marie.
It's not big.
Yeah, it is.
This is science, Kennedy. 95% of the cases from the New England Journal.
You know what? I'm going to let Brad respond. Okay, I'm going to let Brad respond because, Brad, we had 372 doses. The United States, in Denmark, where the smallpox, monkeypox vaccine is manufactured, they were ready to go, but because this has been an issue for more men in the gay community, it seems like it has been lower on the priority list.
So she says being gay is not a requirement to get the monkeypox. What she just said, because this affects gay men, then it's low on the priority list. So which one is it? You acknowledge that it affects gay men more than anything else, but at the same time, when Ned Ryan says that, then he's a bigot. You said it yourself. You said it differently, but you just said it. So, like, why play games like this? This is why mainstream media, even Fox, many times, it sucks because they're not honest. They want to protect their particular side of the aisle. They want to protect certain little interest groups and friends and whatnot. Man, forget all that. Just be honest. It doesn't matter who you offend. It doesn't matter who's upset, who's triggered, who's butthurt. No pun intended. Just be honest.
Brad.
Yeah, look, Ned is right when he says that monkeypox right now is mostly affecting gay men. The problem is that public health-wise, not going to orgies in general is a good policy to not get sexually transmitted diseases.
You moving the goalposts. You know, going to an orgy to prevent STDs is not even the point. The point is monkeypox. We ain't talking about just regular STDs that everybody knows about. We're talking about a specific thing that is now being declared a global emergency. Is there a global emergency for any old STD? No, it's not. Where's a chlamydia global emergency? Let's stop playing games. But I ain't gonna play that whole thing right there. But I get tired of people playing games like that. Just be honest. Tell the truth. Tell the truth and stop trying to, I don't want to say certain little key phrases here because y'all going to twist it. But y'all understand what I'm saying. Just be honest. Honest is the best policy. All right. So if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. I most certainly appreciate it. But we all know what this whole thing is coming from. It's the same thing with HIV. And HIV is still the same way. Back in the 80s or whatever, it was considered a gay disease, and it's still, in many ways, a gay disease. Now, obviously, you can get HIV if you're not gay. But look at the numbers. Okay, 1 out of every 2 gay black men will catch HIV in their lifetime. This is from the CDC. They say this, not me. I ain't make it up. Look it up yourself. Fact check me. 1 out of every 2, 50% of gay black men will catch HIV in their lifetime. 1 out of every 4 Hispanic gay men will catch HIV in their lifetime. 1 out of every 4 Hispanic, 1 out of every 4 black gay males. Now, compare that to the general population. Is it going to be anywhere close? No, it's not. If you're not a gay male or IV drug user, you can catch HIV for sure. You have a very low chance of catching it. That's just the facts from the data. It is what it is. I don't want to have anybody try to call me a bigot for just reading a book and reporting what I get back from the book. Let's not do that. Like I'm reading from the CDC's website what it says. Matter of fact, here's an article right here. I'll pull it up just because I can do it instantly. Hold on. 1 out of every 2 gay. Well, let's pull it up right now. Instant. Okay. From pbs.org. Let's check it out right here. All right, boom. PBS NewsHour. 1 in 2 gay black men may contract HIV in their lifetimes. New data show. It says it right there. Now, that headline is misleading because that's not correct. It says may, no, will. Because right below that in the first paragraph, they say 1 out of every 2 black men who have sex with men and 1 in 4 Hispanic men who have sex with men will be diagnosed with HIV at some point in their lives if diagnosis rates remain the same. This is from the CDC right there. So it is what it is. So basically, the point is, if you are in that community and you active, sexually, you're at risk. You're at a very high risk. It is what it is. You can't even get the vaccine if you're not part of that community. People are all of a sudden wearing masks again now. I've seen that. I see you in the grocery store wearing masks again all of a sudden, because over the past few months, I saw mask wearing dwindle down to pretty much nobody. But I'm seeing it come back now because monkeypox. People think that they can wear a mask and get a shot and then they'll be fine, which was never the case, because guess who has the bug yet again? Your main man, Joe Biden, Slow Joe, not Flo Joe, Slow Joe, has the bug yet again. They put out a press release or something from the White House, which is really weird. They call it the Paxlovid rebound. But what I hear allegedly is that Paxlovid, all it does is just fool you into believing that it fools your body into thinking the virus is gone when it's not gone. It's still there. You still have it. And when the drug wears off, you test positive again because it was always there. The drug just shielded a positive test. That's what I heard, but I don't know if that's true or false. You guys who are healthcare experts, y'all let me know what's going on with that for real. So here's the little press release from Karine Jean-Pierre. Did it today. They put it out on the White House website. They had Joe Biden talking about it with his dog. So you can see this right here. Okay, hold on. And they speak about Paxlovid right here. Check it out. As described last week, acknowledging the potential for so-called rebound COVID positivity observed in a small percentage of patients treated with Paxlovid, the president increased his testing cadence, both to protect people around him and to ensure early detection of any return of viral replication. So it came back. They mentioned Paxlovid right there in the actual press release, straight from the president's doctor. and the date is today, July 30th, 2022. So let's show your man Creepy Joe talking about what's going on. Let's see if it might be on his Twitter page or somewhere. Let's check it out. All right. Well, it's not right there. Let's see what's happening here. Oh, here we go. There it is. So this is today. You can see the date right there. Zoom in. So you can see it says 4:35 p.m., July 30th, 2022, which is just a few hours ago.
Hey folks, Joe Biden here. Tested positive this morning. Going to be working from home for the next couple of days. And I'm feeling fine. Everything's good. But Commander and I got a lot of work to do. Hey folks, Joe Biden here. Tested positive this morning. Going to be working from home for the next couple of days.
But okay, when Joe Biden works from home, what is he actually doing? What do you like? What does your work day consist of aside from, what's your work day consist of aside from just kind of like reading from a teleprompter barely and checking a few hands? Like, what are you really doing from the house? I don't really know. But yeah, he has it again. Now, Joe Biden is in the risk group, right? He's 79? He'll be 80 years old this year. He'll be 80 in November. He's an old man. So he's in the risk group. He has all kind of other ailments. I think he has a blood pressure issue. He has quite a few things going on, which you would expect for a guy to be 80 years old. So if he's able to get it repeatedly and he's fine, then what's the scare? They're talking about bringing the mask mandate back in LA for what? Why? If there was no mask mandate over the past few months, what's the point in bringing it back now? What's that going to do? What did the mask mandate do at all? The mask mandate didn't help. The lockdowns didn't help. Actually, the mask mandate and the lockdowns probably hurt more than anything else. It probably hurt us more than it helped us. Well, I know that it hurt us more than it helped us. The lockdowns most certainly hurt us. And the mask mandates, it hurt us because a lot of these kids were damaged by that mentally. Some physical scars even. What's the point? Yeah, Biden did have cancer at one point. Does he still have cancer? I don't know. He came out and said he had cancer. Maybe he meant to say past tense, had, not have. I don't know, but he did have cancer at one point. yeah, the guy has issues. And then you put on top of that this big deadly virus. If he's able to just kick that like it's nothing, then what's the fear? You know, people, they may pass away from something, just like you could die from the flu, you could die from a common cold potentially, you could die from a lot of different things. That doesn't mean that we just stop living our lives because death happens. Death is inevitable. Death is something that is guaranteed to everyone. What's the point in trying to prevent this bug from catching you if you 800 pounds or you elderly? I mean, you're at high risk anyway. It is what it is. But let me go ahead and digress. I'm getting a little spicy. If you like what you hear so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all of that good stuff. And you guys have got to go see Uncle Tom Part 2. It's coming out August 26th on UncleTom.com. So you could purchase it there and watch it. Have a family and friends night. Gather around the campfire and watch Uncle Tom Part 2. Uncle Tom Part 1 is available right now on YouTube. If you go to my review of Uncle Tom, you'll be able to find the link in that description. You have to be signed in to watch it because they age gated it for some reason. I don't know why. I think when you say Uncle Tom, they see it as a racial slur. So maybe I don't know. But you know how YouTube is. They get kind of weird with stuff like that. But I noticed that if I say certain racial slurs, they demonetize it. The review I did got demonetized. And they didn't tell me why. It just said that it is what it is. Hold on. Yeah, they give you feedback sometimes and say why they demonetize it, but they didn't tell me on this one. But anyway, go to the review. Go to the review and go to the description and you'll see the link right there. And matter of fact, I'll put the link for the new movie. You could pre-order it. If you use my code ABL, that's all you got to put, ABL for the code. You get 30% off. I'll put that link in the description box of this particular video right here. And I'll also put it right here in the chat so you guys can check it out if you want to pre-order it. But if you don't know about Uncle Tom, the first one or the second one, it's about black conservatives. It's about our history in America, coming from slavery, coming out of slavery, and into Reconstruction, all over the country, Harlem, New York City, the South, West Coast, everywhere. How we have been in the country, how we've changed, and how we stayed the same. You know, how we were prosperous and how we were not prosperous. There was one key stat that Larry Elder, I think it was Larry Elder, he said in some, I think it might have been outtakes, because I'm in Uncle Tom Part 2, but I may not be in the final cut that you see. But you'll see me in more of that movie, and I'll just leave it at that. What you may see when it comes out, I may not be in it, but there's outtakes that I'm in, and Larry Elder is saying that within 20 years, the black poverty rate went from 80% to 40% in 20 years. So with that rate, you kind of, you're definitely improving a lot. You're coming from slavery, not able to be educated, not able to know how to read and write. You considered property, all of that, to your Reconstruction. You're building towns and you're getting out of that. And then you keep getting more, you keep getting better and better and better. And then you have things you do to yourself, things that are done to you. You have things that are done to the whole United States. So for rights, feminism came in, that impacted everybody, not just the black community. But the black community, you were already coming from slavery and not being very well educated. The culture got some issues with it. You're trying to fix all of that. And then here comes feminism. Here comes socialism. And the movie was very brave to criticize people like Martin Luther King Jr. They were very brave to criticize MLK because he was a socialist. And a lot of the things that he was preaching about were not helpful to the United States or the black community. Now, we appreciate what he did as far as having the government be out of the segregation business, but at the same time, they forced integration. So that time in the 60s was transformative, but it wasn't perfect. There was a lot of negative things that happened as well. And when I said that the feminism and whatnot hurt the entire United States, what I'm talking about is, here's a stat for you guys right quick. Here's a stat. Okay, so in the year 1960, before civil rights actually got passed completely, 64 Act got passed. In 1960, 20% or 25%, I think it was 20% of black households were headed up by a single mother. That was considered a tragedy. It was a crisis, and it was something that had to be dealt with immediately. 20% single parent-led households was unacceptable. 80% were married households. Even though there might have been poverty, it didn't matter as much as the single parent-led household at 20% in the black community, right? Now, at that same time, whites had about a 5% single parent household rate, okay? Now, fast forward to 2022, whites that are about 25% single parent household rate, blacks that are about 75% single parent household rate. And in the country, only 18% of households have two married parents with children that are theirs. 18%. So feminism and socialism and whatnot, it hurt the entire United States. Then you put drugs on top of that. You got synthetic drugs, fentanyl. I was watching TV the other day and they said, even if you buy weed on the street, it can have fentanyl in it. All drugs that you get on the street are pretty much just fentanyl. You get in an Oxycontin, nope, fentanyl. Xanax, nope, fentanyl. You get in some regular heroin, nope, fentanyl. Black tar, fentanyl. Weed, fentanyl. Hash, fentanyl. Vape pen, fentanyl. It's to the point where you got little kids vaping fentanyl, 12 years old, dying in the school, overdosing in the bathroom. So you got the drugs, you got the feminism, the government control. And I like how in Uncle Tom Part 2, they showed my main man, Yuri Bezmenov. I'm going to play some of Yuri Bezmenov for you guys in case you haven't seen him. I talk about him a lot on this channel, and I don't always. I'm not sure if I ever played him on this channel. I talk about him, but I may not have ever played him. I won't play this entire thing, obviously, because there's an entire interview you got to see. But this right here, I'll play some of this just for about 2 or 3 minutes, and then I'll move forward. I'm not quite sure what they played in Uncle Tom as far as the particular segment Yuri Bezmenov was speaking about, what piece of an interview they played, but they did play him. And that's key because you're talking about people that are on the outside trying to subvert the United States from within. The thing that China is doing right now, I got to talk about them in a minute. The thing that China is doing right now, they're killing us from within with stuff like TikTok and the drugs, because the fentanyl, it comes from chemicals that they make over in China. You have chemical factories where they make the specific chemicals for fentanyl. They send them to Mexico, to Canada, and it gets made there or is already made there, and then they flood us with it. It's cheap because it's coming from China, just like everything else comes from China. Okay, your cell phone and whatnot costs a lot because Apple and Google put their little markup on it. You can get cheap cell phones for the low that are the same as your Google and iPhone, like Huawei, but they're going to put a spy chip in your Huawei. And you can get cheap stuff from China, but you're going to get some fentanyl with that, and it's going to kill you that way. And then they give you TikTok on their version of TikTok. And I said it right here on the channel before. On their version of TikTok, they don't see what we see. They don't see Western trash. They don't see twerking and degenerate stuff. They see informative, educational videos. They played that on Tucker last night or a couple nights ago. But let me play some Yuri Bezmenov, and then I'm going to move forward to China.
Was born in 1939 in a suburb of...
Okay, we don't got to hear his biography.
Information. No one is able to come to sensible conclusions in the interests of defending themselves, their families, their community, and their country. It's a great brainwashing process which goes very slow, and it's divided in 4 basic stages. The first one being demoralization. It takes from 15 to 20 years to demoralize a nation. Why that many years? because this is the minimum number of years which requires to educate one generation of students in the country of your enemy, exposed to the ideology of the enemy. In other words, Marxism-Leninism ideology is being pumped into the soft heads of at least 3 generations of American students without being challenged or counterbalanced by the basic values of Americanism, American patriotism. The demoralization process in the United States is basically completed already.
So you got to hear Yuri Bezmenov, like you got to hear him really speak. That's Yuri Bezmenov, Yuribezmenov. There's a whole interview. It's like an hour and some change. You got to hear it. Oh, you have to hear it. And what he was talking about is how you destroy a country without firing the shot. You know, this whole thing about you got to go invade and shoot stuff down, that's primitive. That's so primitive. You can destroy a nation without actually hurting them physically, directly. You know? But anyway, so Tucker was speaking about Douyin versus TikTok. Again, Douyin is their version of TikTok. They don't have regular TikTok. TikTok is banned in China. They got Douyin because Douyin does not have the degenerate content that we see. Okay, twerking and stuff like that, they don't deal with that on their version of TikTok. Okay. So they give us things that are meant to hurt us. That's what's going on. Oh, and speaking about China, I almost forgot. So did you see where China threatened to shoot down Nancy Pelosi's plane? Because Nancy Pelosi is apparently going to Taiwan. Now, if you know about Taiwan, it's a pretty prosperous country, 39 million people, good economy, a lot of manufacturing. Taiwan, in their mind, is an independent nation. China says, no, you are China. You're not independent. You're part of us. Just like Inner Mongolia, East Turkestan, where the Uyghurs live. They call that the Xinjiang province. Tibet, where the Tibetans live, you got all that water, and it's right there bordering up against India, well, Nepal, Bhutan. All those nations were independent before China took them over. You know, people talk about, oh, China, they're not like Europe. They're not imperialistic, please. They took Inner Mongolia, Hong Kong, Macau, Tibet, East Turkestan, and Taiwan. They want to take Taiwan. They want to claim Taiwan. If you recognize Taiwan as an independent country, you're the enemy to them. So when Nancy Pelosi says, hey, we're going to go to Taiwan, can't do that. So somebody from their state government in China tweeted that we're going to shoot your plane down. Let me see if I can find that tweet. It's been since deleted, but it did tweet it out, though. They sure did. And it wasn't necessarily like a tweet that came from Xi Jinping, but the tweet was labeled Chinese affiliated media, which means Chinese government. Because the thing about China, you can't be part of the media or have a company that the government is not in on. You see, like this is why TikTok is bad, because TikTok will have CCP operatives on it. Like, okay, imagine Google, right? And you have Lindsey Graham on the board of Google. That's how China operates. Now, I'm not saying we don't do that here to a certain extent, because I feel like the government kind of controls certain businesses. But on the board, you have government officials. Do what we say. So here's the tweet right here. This is from somebody where it says right there, China state affiliated media. It's labeled, verified, all of that, right? So the original tweet that they were responding to says, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi plans to depart a tour of Asia today, though whether she'll make a high-stakes stop in Taiwan remains uncertain. Now, the response says, if U.S. fighter jets escort Pelosi's plane into Taiwan, it is an invasion. The PLA has a right to forcibly dispel Pelosi's plane and the U.S. fighter jets, including firing warning shots and making tactical movement of obstruction. If ineffective, then shoot them down. Yo, we'll kill you. You come to Taiwan. Now, see, okay. If you're going to go to Taiwan, you got to understand this is going to be a threat. and you got to just fly in the face of the threat. Now, do you think China will smoke Nancy Pelosi? I don't know. I can't really say that with confidence that they won't do it. It could just be an idle threat to get some attention, to just say we're big, bad, and tough. But they might smoke her, because if they do smoke Nancy Pelosi, what are we going to do about it? Huh? You think we're going to go over there and fight Taiwan over Nancy Pelosi? I mean, we probably would be forced to, but do you think we would be able to really do that? I don't know. I don't think China would do something like that because it would mean war. But will it mean war? They may think we're so weak because of the current administration. They could just do something like that. So, hey, man, China does not play around. They don't care. They do not care at all. But yeah, that has been deleted since they put it out. But check it out. If we don't go because of that tweet, then now we're soft. So once you announce you're going to go to Taiwan and do something like that, be ready for whatever comes with it. You can't back down. If you back down, now you soft. Now they can do whatever they want to you. So whenever you travel anywhere in that part of the world, they can say, oh, if you go over here, we're going to shoot you down. And then it's just going to be never ending. So we'll see how it goes. I don't think they'll do something to Nancy Pelosi, but that kind of tweet right there, it elevates the risk level. It sure does. All right. But thank you for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on the internet. I want to find that Douyin TikTok video right quick if I can find it. Y'all give me a second. I'm gonna try to just dig that out right quick, because that was a pretty important video. I spoke about that here before, but I think they really did it. They did a good job of illustrating what kind of videos are on their respective platforms. Let me see if I can find it. That'd be great. All right. Can I? I may not be able to find it. Oh, and also they're building the wall. They're building the wall. I forgot about that part. So the Biden administration, they said they're going to fill in some border wall gaps. Did you guys see that? And you had Karine Jean-Pierre talking about, oh, we're not finishing the wall, but you're going to fill in some of the border gaps. Look at this right here. Biden administration to fill border wall gaps near Yuma, Arizona. President Joe Biden halted new border wall construction after he took office, but has since made closing the gaps just south of Yuma a priority. So what did Joe Biden say? Not one new foot of border wall will be constructed under my administration. Now, what are we doing? That's 2 years later, putting up more than a few feet, about 60 foot, 70 foot, 100 foot to close the gaps. And the reason why is because these gaps right here are very high traffic areas. Now, I was told by these same people that are trying to fill the border wall gaps that border walls don't work. So if the border wall doesn't work, why are you filling the gaps? And if the gaps are high traffic areas, why is that so? If the whole wall doesn't work, why not just go around it, like just go over top of it, go somewhere else? They're going through the gap because it's an easy way to get through. They could get around the border wall some other way, but it's easier to go straight through the open gap. The border wall creates resistance. It creates a barrier. It creates a deterrent. It makes it more difficult to get over. And your average normie that's getting smuggled across, who probably has not run a mile since they've been 13 years old, is not going to be able to do no high flying escapades over top of the wall with no grappling hook. This ain't, some kind of video game. They're not going to be able to do that. They're not going to be in no tunnel or nothing like that. They're not the cartel. Okay. So you're going to drastically reduce border crossings if you have a wall. And obviously that's the case. That's why they're filling the border wall up. The walls must work, because you're completing some of the wall. That was crazy, but hey, it is what it is. We all know what's going on here. We all know what's happening. All right, let me go ahead and I'm gonna find that Tucker Carlson clip because that was pretty on point. Oh, here's one for you guys. This is kids in the 1960s imagining life in the year 2000. Let's check it out.
I think it'll be people will be regarded more as statistics than as actual people.
I don't think it's going to be so nice. I think sort of all machines everywhere, everyone doing everything for you. You know, you'll get all bored, and I don't think it'll be so nice.
First of all, there's computers are taking over now. Computers and automation. And in the year 2000, there just won't be enough jobs to go around, and the only jobs there will be for people with high HQ, you know, high IQ, who can work computers and such things, and other people are just not going to have jobs.
First of all, these kids are like 45 years old in the voice. Very, very mature sounding little kids or young people. I'm not sure how old they are. I mean, they're probably about early teenage years, I suppose. Maybe like, I can't really tell. You know, but how on point were they? Yeah, all British kids. Yeah, it was crazy how they were able to kind of predict what was going on. In the 60s, talking about computers taking over. So they saw the technology starting to creep in back then, because they probably, when they were much younger, like little kids, the technology, it probably was advancing at a very fast rate. So they were able to see kind of what's going on. Like teens, yeah, that's what I'm thinking about, teens. Probably about 13, 14, right around that age. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about. Yep. Straight out of a sitcom, a black and white sitcom. And Punky Brewster over there. But anyway, so here is the Tucker video I was talking about, where they were talking about TikTok and how it's different from Douyin, which is their version of TikTok over in China. Again, China bans TikTok from their particular, from their country.
Now, in China, where TikTok is known under a different name, videos like these are very common. Watch.
Legends never die. They become a part of you.
So, okay, if you're not watching the actual video, matter of fact, let me turn some of that music off. I don't want to get strikes. So, they're showing clips from Douyin, which is China's TikTok again. You got a guy right here solving the Rubik's Cube, blindfolded, basically. Then you have this one. You have some kids in a classroom throwing a surprise party for their teacher. They pop confetti and they give her some flowers. And then this one right here, the music is killing me. This one right here, somebody's drawing a picture, like really, really in-depth picture. Now, to be fair, these videos could also be on the regular TikTok. But what are you going to get served when you log on to TikTok.com for the first time? Are you going to get served stuff like this? I think not. All right. So again, I turn the music down, and then here's another one. You have, looks like troops. They're all doing splits and synchronized splits. But on the right side of the screen, you see what you see over on the west, which is some girl probably about to start twerking. Oh, nah, I'm not right.
Rubik's Cube Olympics.
Yeah, I'm right.
Showering the teacher with adoration. Kids who can draw like draftsmen. Now, we saw all of those by registering an Apple device in China, just because we wanted to know, what are they watching on TikTok? Now, you know what American kids, your kids, are watching on TikTok? Stuff like this.
Okay, the music again. But yeah, so they got hot dogs being thrown at a girl. This is American TikTok. Booty popping. Okay, somebody, I don't know what this is right here. Counting money in a money counter, throwing money. She says she's wondering why her back hurts so much, and she's got like, you know, it's just sexualized stuff, basically. I don't want to get too far into it. Hold on, I'm gonna just go back to see what Tucker was saying.
There's also a huge genre on American TikTok of videos convincing your kids to get a sex change. Now, none of this stuff comes up randomly. It's curated. It's determined by an algorithm. Now, on Chinese TikTok, there are lots of videos of college graduations, for example. You're seeing those on your screen right now. So in China, TikTok is wholesome, affirming. In the United States, well, it's a driver of social chaos. What's going on here exactly?
Is it on purpose or what? Trump tried to ban it, and we see why. We see they're talking about it's not a Chinese company because it's an American. It's Americans that run it. Whatever. TikTok came from China. It's Chinese still, regardless of who officially quote unquote runs it. You could put any old person in the chair and say, "Hey, you're the man." Just like with Joe Biden. Joe Biden's in the chair, but we know he's not actually running the country. He's just the figurehead. The U.S. people that operate TikTok over here are figureheads. TikTok in China runs TikTok, and that means the CCP, because any company over there, you're going to have the CCP be literally in it. They're going to run it in their own way. You can have an independent company, but they're going to make certain decisions that the government approves of. That's just how it goes. But I digress. We got super chats on deck, and then I'm going to get to the calls. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. Oh, I almost forgot. The House passed a gun ban. So that's actually going to ban automatic, not automatic. That's already been banned. They're going to ban semi-automatic weapons, which means regular handguns, your Glock, all that, just regular, anything magazine fed, hammer. You pull one, you pull the trigger, one bullet comes out. You can pull it again without doing all kind of extra stuff. They want to ban all those. But see, the issue is that it still has to go to the Senate, and I don't think it's going to pass the Senate. And if it does pass the Senate, now we got a problem. But the question is, how are you going to get all the guns from the people? Like, if I already got semi-automatic handguns, which, it was a terrible boating accident. Kids were screaming. The boat was on fire, and all the guns, they sunk to the bottom of the ocean. I was in the ocean at the time. I wasn't even in the pond or a lake or a river or a stream or a creek. I was in the ocean. I was in Virginia Beach. I was in the Bahamas somewhere. So they way at the bottom of the ocean. You can't find them no more. Moby Dick got them guns by now. But anyway, so how are you going to be able to take all the guns that exist? You got 300 million guns that are out in the wild in the hands of people. What are you going to do about those? So they passed it in the House, but it won't go to the Senate and pass there. And if it, like I said, if it does, they got a big problem, because now you got to be able to enforce that. Oh yeah, and the criminals are going to get their guns regardless. It's illegal to have a fully automatic Glock pistol. A little switch have on the Glock. It's a very small piece. It's like the size of a USB drive almost. It's really small. You put it on the back of the Glock, it becomes automatic, fully automatic. You got little kids, 13 to 14 years old, with fully automatic weapons in the streets. How are they getting those? It's illegal. But you want to ban your regular normal for being able to get guns. It's not even like that. We don't even have the guns that criminals have, and we can't get those. That'd be a big problem. All right. But anyway, super chats on deck. Let me read those right quick, and then I will get to the callers. And you guys have been the best audience anywhere in the world as usual. All right. Let me find where I'm at. They keep switching stuff around here. Give me 1 second, and I will go ahead and get that rocking and rolling. All right. So today's the 30th. There we go. All right. Shout out to Lancelot, who says, "Hey, ABL." Shout out from the Republic of Barbados. Shout out Barbados. Shout out to HP Benin or Benin for your donation. Or Benin, because I see the African mask. Thank you to Hammer AZ for your super chat. Thank you to Doug Ripley, who says, your thoughts on Vince McMahon retiring. Well, Vince, first of all, is getting a little older, but second of all, he has all these little scandals going on, so you might as well go ahead and retire. I mean, why not? I think Vince is what, like 76? How old is Vince McMahon? 76, yeah. He'll be 77 next month, August 24th. So, yeah, go ahead and retire. Why not? It's a perfect time because of all the things going on. They're talking about something, oh, he's paying off women, all this and that. Go ahead and just, go to Florida or somewhere and just chill out. They could Hutch Jackson II, who says, when Chuck Norris tells a joke about Jada, Will Smith slaps himself. Hilarious. Shout out to Will Smith. Thank you to Mallory Faust, who says, any surprise if Ethan Leming's killers were not charged with murder? I don't know who that is. You got to educate me on that one. Ethan Lemming or Liming. Pardon me if I'm saying his name wrong. Mallory Faust also says, is it wrong of me that I'm pulling for China? Hey, I'm not going to say nothing because you got the feds are watching. Thank you to Joe Brandon, who says, Anthony, you rock, unlike me. Well, thank you for that, Joe Brandon. I appreciate you. Thank you to Everything Track, who says, Chief Dobbins here got fired for being racist too. So, I don't know the story behind that, but hey, and I want to see what happened with that one. Thank you to Mark, who says, love your work, ABL. Your breakdown videos set the bar, man. You have become part of my day. Keep up the great work, my friend. You're a good seed. Take care of yourself. Thank you for that. I appreciate you. Thank you to Michael Critchlow, who says, peace, ABL. The YouTuber Sticks Texas Hammer 666 says he's willing to debate you on legalization of all drugs in the U.S. He says it would be like shooting fish in the barrel. You up for the challenge? I mean, the thing about it, I might debate him on that. I don't know why he want to legalize all drugs in the U.S. because Sticks is a very smart person, but he overestimates the intelligence of the average person in America. You see, if America was full of guys like Sticks, then legalizing drugs wouldn't be a problem because they'd be able to control themselves and they wouldn't be falling down these, I don't know, like the issue with drugs is a problem. It becomes a scourge in certain parts of the country where there's not much to do. He doesn't understand the human condition. He understands what he thinks about from a logical standpoint of policy, but he doesn't understand the human condition. You see what I mean? Like, drugs are, we're dealing with a fentanyl crisis right now. Like, do you understand whole wars have been fought over drugs? The opium wars, wasn't that what that was with China when they were being flooded with opium from Europe? Europe was like killing them to keep the opium trade going, like literally killing people to keep the opium trade going. It's the same thing going on right now. It's the reverse opium wars, but we're not even fighting back really. We can't even keep the border closed. Keep the border closed, that'll keep a lot of the opium out. Well, the fentanyl, it's the same thing. It's the exact same thing. And also TikTok is a form of opium, but that's a different story. So yeah, Sticks, I think he's a very smart person. I respect him, but I don't think he understands the human condition the way I do. I understand people. He understands what he reads and what he thinks makes sense to him or what should be and not what is. And that's kind of common for people to think that way. They think that they can control using drugs and it's not a problem. So they think everyone else is the same way. Well, take a route on me to some parts of this country where the town has been devastated by drugs, where drugs has become a scourge. Look at California right now, San Fran. Now, drugs are pretty much legal in San Fran, essentially. And it's a case study right there. Look at what's happening on the streets. Saw that video I put out of those kids having to walk through that. Like, what kind of life are you living if you got to live next to that and live in that? Now, a lot of the executives and whatnot, they can control their drug use. A lot of these people on cocaine and whatnot, Adderall, all type of stuff, they can control their drug use. But you got a whole sea of people outside on the streets, doodling on the ground, property crime, going crazy. And then with the drugs, having to do with that, you get a lot of homelessness and you get the people that are in there very liberal, soft on crime. It becomes a mess. So I may go on the show. Oregon, yes, Oregon, Washington State, Appalachia is dealing with it. Not as bad as left coast California, but it's a problem in Appalachia. Like, imagine, like, put it to you this way. Here's just a quick story. And this kind of thing you probably wouldn't see unless you really are in a drug-infested area. And I won't name names, but it'd be short. So my cousin ordered a pizza, and paid the girl the money, whatever. She leaves. Now he goes outside. He was outside to get the pizza because she came to the door. Ding dong. Gives her the cash, gets the pizza, and now she leaves. He sees an object fall from her pocket. It's a heroin needle right on his front steps. That kind of thing goes on a lot in these kind of drug-infested areas. Do you want to live there? Do you want your kids to be playing outside and find a needle and play with it? I don't know, man. People don't really understand that, but I digress. I might take them up on that debate. I may do that. All right. Shout out to higher IQ than all of you for the cool emoji. Thank you for that. Thank you to Rudin Sinjari, who says, been following you for years. Great job. Thank you for that. Thank you to higher IQ than you again for higher IQ than all of you again for the donation. Thank you to Apple, who says, God bless J6 Mega Patriots in DC jail. Solitary. Willie Leon says, ABL, can you talk about how Fox banned Trump? Did it ban Trump? When did they do that? I didn't hear about that, so I don't know too much about it. Thank you to Apple, who says, kindly consider Patriot Freedom Project to help J6ers. Also, would you trade Commie Warlord for Brittany Griner? Nah, that's a crazy trade. So if you guys haven't heard, you know, Brittany Griner, the basketball player from the WNBA, she's over in Russia, locked up because of some drugs she brought to the country for herself. And she got locked up for drug trafficking. And she probably would go to jail over there for breaking their laws. And people are saying she needs to come home. She's a political prisoner, whatever. So we're talking about exchanging like a whole terrorist. This guy was buying weapons. Like this guy was on the run for 10 years. It was a manhunt. It's like you got Uday Hussein over there locked up. We're going to trade him for Brittany Griner and one other man. I don't know what he did, but that's not really an even trade. Okay. If I got Osama bin Laden, I'm going to need more than a basketball player. I'm sorry. Give me something good. Okay. Give me a detained head of state or something like that for a terrorist. Yeah, that's a no-go on that one. Also, Apu says, ABO, best memories of summer with grandparents. Oh, the best memories was just being able to be outside. And it's like, the best thing was being in Ram with the stray dogs. And you got stray dogs as free pets, basically. So yeah, shout out to the stray dogs. It's just like part of the community. They don't bite or nothing like that. Now, some of the dogs that were not necessarily stray, but were kept cooped up, if they get out, then they would attack you. They would chase you. But the stray dogs, it was everybody's just free pets they had in the community. Also, ABO, what TV shows did your parents, grandparents see? I don't know. You got to ask them. That's a good question. You have to ask them about that. And the Logan family, James Brown or Lionel Richie. James Brown. My dad was a big James Brown fan, and my granddad was too. Big James Brown fan. Like, mega fan. I'm talking about how these kids like, what's it, like Justin Bieber or something like that. That's how dad was with James Brown back in the day. Also, Apu says 100 days to midterms. Will Democrats hold on to power? I don't think so. They're talking about the Democrats may take the House and the Senate because January 6th. I don't see that happening. I think the most important thing right now is the gas prices, inflation, things of that nature. That's probably the most serious thing right now. Apple also says FBI whistleblower sent letter to Senator Grassley. That's great. Please, more conscientious, patriotic, moral people who work in FBI, DOJ, NSA reveal the truth. Right on. Also, I'm heartbroken. Pence, Barr, Milley betrayed Trump. ABL and ABL fans, Guns N' Roses or Motley Crue? That's a question for you guys. Thank you to Carl's Opinion, who says, hey, ABL, I thought only old men like me have great beards. Have a good one, Carl. Yeah, man, I'm old and young at the same time. I'm an old young man because I've seen some things and I've seen some stuff. Thank you to Caius Proximus, who says, ABL, what's your take on William Bill Cooper? I have no idea who that is. Pardon my ignorance. Thank you to Ian Kinney, who says, that's Yuri's interview with G. Edward Griffin. You should look up Griffin's video discussing Manning Johnson's book. Also, check out Yuri's 3-hour lecture, but you had to search Thomas Kuhlman's subversion to find it. I'll check it out. Caius Posthumus says Pelosi just walked us into nuclear World War III. Maybe so. F Ranger Xbox says the money costs stop coming in and Will is seeing his career die. Yeah, that's right. Closest 99 says, hey, ABL, it's really be confusing to be a Democrat. Joe Biden said day one he was going to codify Roe v. Wade and didn't. Now the Biden administration is building border walls. Exactly. It's like, okay, you're going to codify Roe. Nope, we strike that down. And you want to stop the border wall construction, not one more foot, but you built in a lot more feet of border wall. So what's going on? I think it's a Michael Guest who says, is Biden an absent-minded, stinky old man, the only individual with the final nuclear launch codes? Please, for the love of God, someone tell me there's a backup plan. I don't think there's a backup plan. I think that's pretty much what you got is what you got. It really ain't no more to it. I think it's a Mr. J who says Biden goofed on Trump for his COVID recovery speed. Karma. There you go. I remember that. And Caius Posthumus says, did you see the recent Fleckis Talks video in New York City? I think I did see that with the people, with the kids or young people being asked questions. I may do reactions to that if that's what you're talking about. I think it's a TJ Jizzle who gave me a donation. And let's go ahead and get to the callers. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. There's also an email in the description if you want to if you want to call me that way. You could be right here, bottom left-hand corner of the screen, talk about whatever's going on, and we could do it that way. Oh, but the reason why I'm gray is it's hereditary. Like my cousins that's like my same age, it's the same. We all got the same thing. And we all live different lives. It's not necessarily stressful. That's just what it is. And by the time my dad was like 45, 50, he was totally gray. Granddad, all of them, they were gray early. It's just hereditary on both sides of the family. I don't know what it is. Okay. 808, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
ABL, how are you, brother?
It's all good, man. I got a little bit of noise interference in the background.
Yeah. I had to take out my AirPods. Man, I just happened to be home today. I usually listen to you on Saturday on my way into work, but I got the day off. It's a beautiful day in Hawaii. I just wanted to catch up on a couple things out here. I don't know if you heard or not. It's pretty big in the news out here, but I haven't really heard anybody else talk about it. Just on Wednesday, I believe, of this week, they found two, alleged, it's still pretty preliminary, but it's not looking good for them, two alleged Russian spies who stole the identity of two dead infants in Texas back in the 80s, and they've been living here for 20 years with no knowledge of anything. Nobody knew nothing.
Wow.
On Oahu. And it's a man and a woman. I believe it says that they're married. They were even able to obtain passports. The dude joined the Coast Guard and then got a DOD security clearance on top of it.
Wow.
20 years.
Wow, crazy.
Yep, it's pretty nuts. And then everybody knows how blue it is in Hawaii, obviously. So as soon as, the Supreme Court sent the news out, I call it the shockwave out, immediately all of these lawmakers are talking about ammo bans and this bans and that bans. Just in the past week alone, 2 separate women were sexually assaulted, followed into their own homes. And now, again, that's just in the past week and a half, I would say. You got people randomly being stabbed. You got people driving on, it's the H1 freeway, getting shot at randomly. I can't even think of all the crazy things. Now, Hawaii is pretty much as strict as New Jersey, New York, and Chicago in terms of gun laws. Why are all these things happening then? Somebody explain that to me. Because criminals don't follow laws. You can put as many laws on the books as you want. A criminal, what makes them a criminal by definition is they break the law. They don't care. It puts us at risk. And I'm hoping that in the midterms, people that have been sleeping, they wake up to where our country's at right now, and they vote accordingly. I remember me and my children. Back during the presidential election, we watched your entire stream the whole night. They love watching you whenever, like I said, I usually try to catch you during the week, but Saturdays I got to listen to you going in. But I love what you're doing. I really appreciate everything that you do, all your videos, and just keep it up, brother. Much, much love and aloha from Hawaii.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate you.
All right, brother. Have a good one.
Shout out to the caller. Great call. Yeah, that's crazy. You got some serious holes in our security. You could just be here, fake documents, and get a security clearance, all kind of stuff like that. But yet, if you don't have the vax, you can't go to work. Oh, and did you guys see there was a lawsuit? There was a $12 million lawsuit settlement for workers who, it was $10.3 million because workers were fired due to not having the vaccine, healthcare workers. This was in, I think, Illinois, Chicago somewhere, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think it was in Chicago. So shout out to them. That's going to be the first of many lawsuits to get settled. 559 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
ABL, Patrick from California. How's it going?
It's all good, man. How about yourself?
Hey, not too bad, man. Just trying to stay out of this heat wave here on the West Coast, just with my bucket of water waiting for those forest fires to come on down so that way I can put a dent in those 20,000 acres on fire.
Exactly.
I just wanted to get your take on Gavin Newsom. Now, he's telling all of our farmers and all of the people in Los Angeles and the Bay Area that he's going to have the Public Works Authority start adding in gray water into the tap. Gray water, I'm not sure if you know, it's like raw sewage water. And they're going to purify it, so they say, and then put it back in. But, I mean, what's your take on that, man? That just seems like nasty, and also it could lead to a lot of problems. I mean, with our food and people with illness, and I just was wondering what your take was.
So what's the purpose of him doing this? Like, why? Is it because of a shortage of water?
Yeah, he's trying to say that, because we're still in a drought crisis, and that, we have such a water shortage that we're now going to convert gray water into drinking water to use to grow our crops and to use for, public consumption. And I think that's going to cause a whole lot of problems with that, man, because, gray water, I mean, that's volatile. You can't drink that, even though they're saying they can purify it. But how well can they purify that down at the molecular level with reverse osmosis and any sort of chemical and stuff like that? I mean, there's all kinds of impurities in it. You wonder what exactly that curtails, is my point.
Yeah, I'm not sure how they're going to really purify that enough for you to consume it, to drink it safely. I'd be concerned for sure. I would definitely be concerned.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's also concerning to me that he just seems like it's A-okay with the illegals pouring in just by the truckloads and busloads in the southern border. And my other point was I was reading on Statista.com and also the Bureau of Immigration and Labor Statistics. Now, they're saying that the the total immigration statistics for the illegal population in the United States varies from 10.5 to 12.5 million. Now, I went to CIS, and they're saying the combined total between legal migration and illegal immigration combined is like 46, 47 million from 2012 all the way up to this year of 2022. My point is that, if we're only getting approximately about 1 million legal migrants a year, then that's telling me that the majority of that total that CIS is saying is majority illegal then. So where are they getting that number from? And do you think that we are kind of in that higher bracket where we're closer to that 47, 50 million population of illegal immigrants versus like the 10.5 to 12.5?
Oh, we're certainly at the higher bracket. at least 45, 50 million people, because especially lately because of this, the unfettered just pouring of people in. I mean, it's ridiculous. It really is. And I'm not sure how we're going to really sustain that. I don't really, it's going to be a problem here pretty soon. It's a problem now, actually, but it'll be a problem very soon that we can't ignore anymore. We can't just act like it doesn't exist because it's just too many people coming in.
Do you think if we actually did something about it, like how Trump was wanting to do something about it, that it would immediately, like overnight, switch the tables on our economy, on our food supply, on our standard of living, on the positive progress in our entire country? Do you think that would be a result?
I don't think overnight, but I definitely think that'd be something that we could do to fix some of our problems for sure, because a lot of the drugs are coming from the southern border. A lot of crime and whatnot is coming that way because we're bringing people in. We don't know who they are. We don't know where they come from, what's going on. So if you want to reduce drugs and crime, reduce the unfettered access to our country, it'll take some time for that to happen, but it will most certainly be something that helps. And then, of course, if you don't have a lot of people coming in and crowding, some of these major cities are already kind of crowded, that'll reduce some issues as well. It'll take a little bit of time for it to take hold, but it would most certainly help.
I agree. I really do hope that Greg Abbott's declaration of invasion really puts a dent in it and starts to do, what makes a difference with it, for lack of better words, because, it's like what you're saying with those gaps and looking at that photo, man, that something has to be done. And we got to do something about it now, because, I mean, if we wait one more year, we don't know how many terrorists and violent, dangerous people are coming through that border. And, it's just like a ticking time bomb waiting to happen. Who's going to, be that one guy to come through that's actually going to do something devastating and serious to this country or organization of people. And so I'll just leave it at that. And thank you so much for your 2 cents, ABL. I appreciate everything that you do. God bless you, sir. God bless the United States of America and our 45th president of the United States, Donald J. Trump.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate it.
Take care.
All right, great call. Very good. 860, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, Bill. It's FNA Ranger Xbox.
All right, man.
How you doing, brother?
It's all good, man. Can't complain.
Yeah, I thought you'd get a kick out of my Will Smith comment. Yep, the money call stopped. Nobody wants to finance his movies.
Oh yeah,
he's become a self-made pariah.
Yeah, I mean now it's like, okay, what do I do now? I got to do something. Okay, apologize 4 months later. Ridiculous.
Yeah, and I mean, I give credit where credit's due. That man has a spark where people, on the screen, people like him. The problem is he tried to push his son onto the public, and his son just doesn't have, I'm sorry. This was, I had to accept the fact that, yes, I love playing football, but at 5'6", after freshman high school, my football days were over. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean, yeah, there was Rudy up there at Notre Dame, but Rudy ain't going to go to the NFL. Maybe I should sue the NBA for discrimination for not having enough untalented, short, old white men playing. But Brittany Griner heard a report, which I don't believe, but it says the Russian guards are reporting that it's a man. But I saw a video, TikTok video, and thank God I figured out how to record the screen on my cell phone, because I don't have TikTok loaded. I got this off watching YouTube, not YouTube videos. It was maybe it was a YouTube short, but the man he was a black man, got some salt and pepper in his beard, and he was talking about, how we're being led down the path of World War III and how we're being set up by treasonous people in our government, because the only militaries on the planet that were forced to get the COVID vaccine were America. Britain, France, Poland, Italy. Do you understand that?
Yeah, I'm with you.
The conspiracy theorists were saying, like me, that you're only going to live about 3 or 4 years, and y'all are going to start dropping like flies. Well, guess what? Our entire military was forced to get a vaccine, which isn't a vaccine because the CDC changed the definition of the word vaccine 3 times since 2015. And anybody that's got an internet can look that up. I did. So everybody's wondering what does China have over Biden? And that's in 2013 when Hunter went there with Daddy and came back with $1.5 billion to invest in a special hedge fund that doesn't have to be reported. Oh, God. But they made a video, a blackmail video, because this is a typical Chinese business tactic is once you do a business deal, you all go out and you get drunk and then you go to the houses of ill repute. Well, they made a video of Hunter with an underage Chinese girl. I saw the video with the girl blacked out, but she was screaming and crying, and I was disgusted. But that, I think, is why the Democrats are all of a sudden in this big wave of pushing pedophilia. I honestly believe that's why, so they can smooth that over.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say it. I don't care if the feds are listening or not, because y'all are heading us towards nuclear war. I could care less if they shoot down her plane. They'd be doing me a favor. As a matter of fact, if every single major city in America got nuked, guess what? There would be no more liberal Democrats. That's all I got, brother. You have a great night. Love your show. God bless America.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate you. All righty. Great call as always. Shout out to y'all. You guys got the best calls. The best audience anywhere on the internet. Let's keep on going here. 720, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Yes, this is Chris from Colorado.
All righty, man. What's going on?
Nothing much. I just been listening to you for a while. Just wanted to call in and tell you that you're doing a great job reporting everything and that your videos are awesome. And just wanted to tell you to keep up at it.
Well, thank you for that, man. It means a lot to me.
Yep. Thank you. You have a great day, sir.
All right, now, same to you. Shout out to the caller. Great call. Just wishing me well. I appreciate that. Calling line speaking to 857.
Hey, what's going on, Anthony, man? It's hard to catch up with you.
Yeah, man, it's busy. So what's happening?
Yeah, man, I didn't watch it, but I was listening in YouTube, the thing about Uncle Tom, the documentary. It's not even a documentary. It's some sort of propaganda they're trying to sell, but that's all right. I think if there's enough people that are willing to purchase something is against the Democrats, right? People will buy it, right? And vice versa, right?
So I mean, what in the movie was wrong?
Well, a lot of things not the movies, it was a documentary. So pretty much what I saw that if you look at this country, especially for black people, riots always being committed into this country to get something on exchange. That I support riot, that I support damage of private property.
Hold on, right quick. Are you black?
Of course I'm black. This is Ivan.
Okay. Nah, I want everybody to know watching. So you're black and you have an accent, obviously. So you weren't born here. So you came here to this racist country from wherever you're from. Okay, continue.
No. Wait a minute. I came here in 1986 when I was 14 years old. Number one.
Okay.
Number two, my brothers and sisters, I have brothers that were fought in the army. They were way older than probably your parents. They're in the 80s. And they told me the stories. I got aunties that came here in 1960, in 1955. I have uncles that came in 1955. They told me the stories. I watched real documentaries with real...
So wait. So hold on. So your family came here in the 60s and the 50s, and they had all these horror stories, but they still stay here in the United States, huh? Did they go back?
No. But
oh wait. Wait. Hold on. Wait. So did they stay here or go back home?
That doesn't matter.
Oh, sir, answer that, sir. Answer that, sir. Excuse me, sir. Did they stay here or go back home?
They stay here.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
So pretty much what you're saying is that because there were riots. Also, the 1946 riots, those riots were in vain. The riots of 1967 were in vain. The riots of the Tulsa, Oklahoma, the riots of Mississippi in 1908 were in vain. So people just rioted because they want to have fun. That's what you're saying?
Huh? Where'd you get that from? Wait, like who said that?
I'm just asking you.
I never say anything like that. I mean, they had a reason for rioting.
So you saying that Black Lives Matter rioting, the people that riot, because not everybody was rioting, they rioted in exchange of police reform. Since when the United States of America should have passed police reform in base of the events of police abuse? Can you tell me that? Can you tell me the years?
I didn't hear your question.
When police reform should have been passed in the United States of America?
I don't know.
You don't know. You don't know all the abuses, the lynching act, all these atrocities that were committed against black people.
What about it?
So don't you think the police should have been reformed by then? Should be federal law that say, hey, if you committed a crime and there's evidence that you violated committed a crime, you should not walk out free, because a lot of the police officers were shooting people and walk out free.
Well, you got to be.
That's the reason that they rioted.
There's already laws against committing acts of violence that are not warranted. There's already laws against that.
But they walk out free, though. They walk out free.
Well, if there's evidence that they did something wrong, then they would get locked up. But if there's not evidence, then they wouldn't.
So you're gonna tell me when they beat up Rodney King and then they beat him up badly, and then they went to that court and then they walk out free because where the trial supposed to happen was moved to a white neighborhood. So you're gonna tell me that? Let's move on. Let's move on to the civil rights.
Okay, so wait a minute. Hold on. So no. You brought him up. So what did Rodney King do before the actual beating?
He took off in a car.
So high speed chase?
High speed chase, yes.
Oh, okay. All right, but go ahead.
Okay, so then when he got off of the car, they beat him up so badly. They was necessary, that beating?
Nah, I don't think so. But definitely, let's get the full picture.
So then,
no. Let's get the full picture. High speed chase. I'm not gonna go. High speed chase. Non-compliant. Let's not forget about that part. All they want to say is, oh, they beat him up, but they didn't say it was a high speed chase and he wasn't complying with the police. But go ahead.
Yeah, yes, it was true. But the idea of the police is not to beat you up because you did something wrong. Okay. The idea of the police to put you through the system, and the system is supposed to punish you. The idea of the police is not to beat you up.
Okay.
Is arrest you.
Now I got
so put him through the system.
Okay. All right. Okay. You got your point across. So I'm moving. Sir. Excuse me, sir. Here's a question I have for you. Now let's just say that Rodney King verdict was the wrong verdict. Let's just say it was the wrong verdict. Now, have you ever seen a verdict go incorrectly when it's just civilians on civilian? Like, I don't know, O.J. Simpson, huh?
Yes, I've seen it.
Okay, excuse me, sir. So, if that's the case, then we can see that the system is not perfect, and it's not just a matter of officers getting off when they shouldn't get off. Normies get off when they shouldn't get off too. And sometimes it depends on the situation. It could be money, it could be the venue, it could be the person, it could be celebrity, it could be the police, it could be whatever. But how often does that happen? Is it very common or kind of uncommon?
Okay.
But see, if you're talking, you can't hear what I'm saying, so you're not listening. But the question, since you were talking, you probably didn't hear it. How often does it happen where a verdict just goes wrong for the police or regular civilian? Is it common?
Happens more than you think.
Is it common?
It used to be common. It's not as common now because the media and the people and the internet and social media. Cool. But it used to be very common in the 1950s and 60s, 40s. Used to be very common. It's not common anymore because social media.
Okay. Cool.
Okay, so let's move on to the civil rights. Let's move on. Okay, so you say during the civil rights again. You mentioned Black Lives Matter. I don't support people. I don't support the Black Lives Matter agenda now because it was changed since when it started.
Get to the point.
So my point is, so during the civil rights, right? You say that there were socialists, there were communists. Who are the communists and the socialists? Can you explain that to me?
Martin Luther King Jr., socialist.
He was a socialist?
Yeah.
Why was a socialist? What was so socialist about him?
The things he was preaching, he was talking about socialism. He's preached socialism.
But can you give me an example? Can you elaborate for me, please?
Which one? You want me to find a speech where he said it? You can look. You
No,
can find it yourself.
just give me a statement that he said that you believe is socialist. If you say that he's a socialist, you must have I hear a lot of things about him that were so socialist. So can you mention me one statement I said was so socialist, please?
You can find speeches where he's talking about it.
No. I want you to make sure.
I've answered your question. And that's pretty much all I got for you right now. I don't have his speeches memorized to tell you everything that he was talking about, but I know I know about MLK and what he was about. Okay, that's what he was preaching. This whole thing was about preaching to the government, trying to get the government to be more involved. If you're not a socialist, the government really shouldn't even be your focus. You want the government to be more involved because you're into socialism. That's the whole thing. So
you don't want the government to end to be involved to change laws so that you could have equality. So you could have Jim Crow laws.
Now, see, the thing the government did. Excuse me, quiet. Excuse me, quiet. The thing the government did, and I'm gonna move on because we've been on for a long time. The thing the government did was like force integration. That's not the right way to go about it. You can end segregation without forcing integration. See, you're going from one extreme to the other. The government should not really be involved with it. That's the whole thing. It should be more about self-reliant, self-determination, not government give me this, government give me that. That shouldn't be what it's about. That's socialism. And at the end of the day, they can control you more than you have freedom for yourself. But thank you for the call. That's enough for you tonight. So yeah. MLK definitely socialist. He did a lot of good, but also some bad. It just is what it is. All right. But the funniest part about that whole thing was that Ivan was like, hey, this country is so bad, it's so evil and racist, but yet he's black and he came to this country in the 80s and is not left yet. He's been here for 34 years, 35 years, and still has this Ricky Ricardo type thing going on. And his uncles and whatnot, they've been here since the 50s and the 60s, and they have not gone back home either. So it must not be that bad in America. It must be okay. That's all I'm trying to say. If you're talking about how bad this country is, you from somewhere else and you don't go back home, it ain't that bad, is it? 918, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, what's up, AP? It's Jakey Scott from Oklahoma. How you doing, buddy?
It's all good, man. What's happening?
Hey, not a lot. Just enjoying the show. Yeah, it wouldn't be a Saturday night if I didn't hear you say some sir, Yeah. But I got a lot to say. I mean, yeah, everything was covered pretty good. Monkeypox, all different kinds of stories. But there was one I'm not sure if you're too familiar with yet. It just happened like yesterday, I think. The mayor in Washington, D.C., what's her name, Muriel Bowser?
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, she's not happy with the influx of illegals coming in D.C. right now. Greg Abbott, the governor of Texas, he wasn't messing around because I was reading a report earlier. There's over 100 homeless encampments spread around D.C. And she's asking for more money from the government to help do something. And then what I heard yesterday, I think it was, she's asking for the help of the National Guard. So what kind of hypocrisy is that? She wants the National Guard to come to her city, but not to anyone else's.
Right, exactly. And you know, the issue in DC with the illegal immigration is nowhere near as bad as it is in like Texas at all. So, you know, now she can understand what they're going through on the border. And she wants to get National Guard for her issue, but the National Guard needs to be down there on the border. And I think that she should support that, because if she supports that, then she has fewer of these illegal aliens on her doorstep.
Yep. And I think I almost think it's funny, honestly, because they're getting a taste of their own medicine, you know. So yeah, I mean, the Democrat Party, this is, you know, Biden, the whole fake administration, they're the ones that caused all this. So yeah, now you got to deal with it.
Right.
But yeah, it's good to point that out. There's some pretty funny videos if we're talking about it. But anyway, I really don't have much more to say. I really don't. So I'll just let you go, man. And love you, man. Love everybody in the chat and the calls. And you have a good night, man.
Thank you for the call, man. I appreciate you.
All right. Later, dude.
All right. Thank you guys for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on the internet. So if you enjoy what you're hearing so far tonight, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. All right, Shreeps, what's going on, man?
ABL, what's up, man? It's been a long time.
It's been a long time, man. How's everything?
Everything's good, man. I've been busy. I'm sorry I haven't been around too much lately.
Oh, it's all good.
Hopefully everything's good for you, man.
Yeah, everything's going great.
Gravy. Yo. First of all, some things I see haven't changed, Ivan.
Yeah, right.
As always. But yeah, I just wanted to weigh in on the monkeypox thing, because now I guess New York City, I'm sorry, is declaring state of emergency now for monkeypox, right? Did you hear about that? That was just, I think, today? I think that was today.
No, I didn't hear about that one. That's interesting.
Yep, New York City is, I think they declared it. San Francisco, and then I don't think it's federal emergency. It's just state of emergency from the cities. But San Francisco did it too. So I wonder if, it's the usual thing. It's the usual trickery from the devils, like we always talk about.
Absolutely.
That they're doing. So I'm sure they're going to try to pull the same tricks and scare everybody off and, try to, I don't even want to say it, but you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Up to their dirty schemes. So, yeah, it was interesting. Another thing I wanted to get your opinion on, did you hear about Gavin Newsom possibly running for president? Which would be a disaster.
I've been hearing about that. That'd be terrible because, these people in D.C., they don't really understand. They don't get it. Sometimes they kind of understand how to do certain things, but Gavin Newsom, they're thinking that since he's successful in California, that's going to extend to the whole U.S., but people don't look at California as a place to be. Not really, because people are leaving in droves. Why would you put a guy like him out there when people are leaving that state in droves? He'd had the kind of Trudeau effect of the young women that think he looks good or whatever. But beyond that, he's not going to have any kind of appeal. So ultimately, it'd be a dumpster fire if he ran for president.
Yep, exactly. Quote unquote, running for president, good governor, right? Quote unquote. But yeah, no, and supposedly winning, I guess. I don't even want to talk about that either. But yeah, no, it would be terrible. So I mean, I kind of took myself away from it a little bit, but it's the usual stuff that I'm seeing, coming from these guys. So, but I kind of wanted to bring that up. And that's it, man. Just hopefully everything's good. And I'll try to call in and check in a little bit more and be on a little bit more here for you, bro. All right.
Thank you for the call, man. I appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Always. All right. See you, Bill.
Peace. All right. Great call from Shreves. Absolutely. Yeah. Gavin Newsom, they're trying to do the whole Justin Trudeau thing because he liked the way he looks and the socks and all that kind of stuff. The women like him. But that's not really going to, the whole country is not like Canada. Canada's a small country. The U.S. is much more diverse than that. It's not really going to work. 601, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, what's up? It's Everything Track here. Well, I'm sorry, I'm saying my YouTube name. It's Justice Mississippi. You already know who it is. You already know.
All right, no doubt, man. What's happening?
But I'm good, man. I'm actually good. Hey, just to say something, they finally bringing the Top Golf here. Finally, I went to Baton Rouge for my birthday 2 weeks ago. Did Top Golf. I realized I suck at golf.
It just takes practice. That's all.
Yeah, man, for real. Hey, is there a Top Golf in Chattanooga? I know they got something like that over there in Cedarville, over there in Gatlinburg and stuff when we went. But is there one in Chattanooga?
Yeah, there is.
Okay.
But it's just one floor though, so it's kind of it's okay. But I prefer the ones that have multiple floors.
One floor? No, we were on the second floor.
Yeah. Need that.
But see, you can't really choose though, because we were it was like a 2-hour wait, so we really didn't choose. I wanted the third floor, but I mean, we were limited, so that's all I cared about.
Right.
So you already know I'm an officer, right? So you already know that. So you were talking about that officer, the lady officer. I can't remember her name. Could you refresh my memory on the female's name that you covered on that video?
I don't remember her name, but she was in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, I sent you a super chat. I don't know if you read it. I've been doing making YouTube videos, but we recently just had a chief actually here in Lexington, Mississippi. So he just got fired for he has said the N-word, and he doesn't. What did he say about LGBT? So he was basically calling them queers and saying he doesn't want to protect LGBT people and all this other stuff. Right? This is a chief. And he had said something else that really got everybody mad. Now I don't know where Lexington, Mississippi is. Like I said, I live in Hattiesburg. I'm not really sure where Lexington is. I think it's in Utica County. But anyways. But yeah. So I was just reading everything about him and what happened. So it was a black police officer that basically snitched on him. So he was recording he was recording everything that Chief Hobbins said. Talking about he bodied 13 people and got away with it.
Oh
and,
yeah, I think I did hear about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was going to say something me being an officer now coming up in my third year. I just want people to hear it. Hopefully there's an officer that's telling the truth, or at least being truthful in the comment section that's listening to me. Third year, I'll be real. You got people like him who's a chief. That makes it worse because you're like the top dog in the city, believe it or not, next to the mayor. And you have officers like that, and I can say after 3 years, there are officers that have said racist stuff. Officers that have just been weird, people pull beating up people, not really just beating up people, but acting really ferocious for people that's not stopping when they want to stop, and they might stop 1/4 a mile later to get a bright light, because I know a lot of women do that when they get pulled over. They like to pull over where there's a spotlight. But you have people like me who react common sense, all right, I get it. But you have some officers, and I'm gonna be real, it's the high school educated officers. I'm just gonna be real here. I have a degree. I'm trying to go federal now, but there are officers that don't need to be police officers. I'm trying to help change that. Especially my department's pretty good, but unfortunately we do have psyche battles and stuff like that. We do have annual training. Federal police officers have they train every 4 months on stuff like this. We have therapy. They usually get us to you. The city will get us to you. So basically, I just wanted to say, in general, there are officers that aren't doing the right things. They just want to be an officer, just say that they're a police officer, but they do treat citizens like crap. I see in the body cams. I tell people that I used to work for an old department hey, that wasn't cool. They got you on the news, in the local news here. You knew better than that. Come on now. So I just wanted to say that all officers aren't good, and unfortunately, there aren't good people in any profession, but we're the ones that hold the badge. We're the ones that hold the guns. We're the ones that can take somebody's life. So we are looked up at a higher standard, sort of like how Will Smith was looked up at a higher standard. If Pookie and Ray Ray slapped each other at Popeyes, and everyone's going to look at it, but Will Smith, he can't be doing that. He's not supposed to be doing that. You're a global phenomenon.
Right. So I got a question. So I got a question for you. Do you think the officer has some anger issues that needed to get worked out, and should they be on the force with that type of, whatever those issues were in their mind?
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, she was weird. I saw the whole video. That was saying the N-word. I want to say something too. I get in many fights. I put my gun out on people, but I never said the N-word. There's officers that I work with that have been on the force for detectives 20 years. They never said it. And like I know what you said. I get what you was trying to say about like maybe the work's getting to her. I don't think so, because you have to have a calm, cool, and collective mindset to be a police officer, especially in high-stress situations.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
what I'm saying. You need to be calm, cool, and collected, but she wasn't, because there was an incident when she was off duty where she went Britney Spears in somebody's car, like hit the car with the umbrella. It's like, why would you do something like that? An umbrella trying to beat the window in? Like that right there points to somebody that's not really mentally stable in general. So if you're not mentally stable off the job, you're going to bring that to the job. As soon as she got to the school, she was already irritated. Like that right there points to some kind of issues that already existed before the whole N-word came out.
Yes, sir. And you want to know why? You don't want to know why the bad police officers, especially right now, like some need to get fired, especially where I live. You know why they're not getting fired? Because nobody's applying to be a police officer. I literally asked my lieutenant. He said there hasn't been nobody apply at our police department in 3 weeks. Like three to 4 weeks that can actually be a police that's already certified. And we need I think we need 8 officers. We need 8. We're bad. It's only me and my sergeant on the shift. It's been me and him on the shift for the past 2 days, because I'm working this weekend. It is bad right now. And because of that, sometimes these police departments don't have a choice but to keep these bad officers. They'll get complaints. They'll go to IA. But nothing will happen. I got a complaint for telling a woman to shut up. She was being rude. She was ghetto. I did tell her to shut up, but nothing happened to me, because the thing is, they need us, and I'm trying to be a better police officer. But some people do get to your head. I'll be real. But
right. I'm with you.
That's probably why she's not getting fired. Unfortunately. But I would have worked with her. There's no way I could work with her. She'd get on my nerve. I could see myself yelling at her like, hey, shut up. Like, hey, you got to go home. Like, take your vacation time. Take your comp time. Go home. Think about your life.
Right.
Did you have any police questions that you wanted to ask me since we're on the phone?
Oh, no, but we know you can't be on the show the whole time now. So it's been a good call. So thank you for your call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, man. All right. I'll be in Tennessee November.
All right. That's cool. I'll be here.
All right, bet.
All right, shout out to the caller. Good call. Justice out there, Mississippi, is a police officer. So yeah, shout out to him. It's like, yeah, man, since I'm here, like, what's the next topic? What's the next question? It's like, wait a minute. Good call though. Okay, let's go to 323. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL. This is Joe from Los Angeles. How you doing?
I'm well. About yourself?
I'm great. First off, a shout out to you. I was done with that last comment to Ivan about this Ricky Ricardo thing. Oh, I was just totally laughing. It was just way over the top and just too true, kind of like in the same sense. That was just too funny. But nevertheless, I want to talk about. Someone spoke about Marion Bowser and the immigrants going over to D.C.
Mm-hmm.
And also about Gavin Newsom and this image he has as the poster child or the heartthrob presidential wannabe. First of all, he's still slimy to most people, to me at least as a female. But Greg Abbott, I don't know if people know, but he is kind of like in a wheelchair, or he is in a wheelchair. But he's my husband in my head because despite his disability and whatever, he's the man because he's so powerful and he's just so impactful with how he speaks about the border in his state. And that's the kind of people that should be in office and not these poster childs and these Canadian, the prime minister over there, that type of look. We're not looking for that anymore, the Hollywood thing. We need real politicians in order to be effective because image is not everything. It's about, the gut work, going out there and handling your business, basically. And another thing about Abbott, the reason why I think he's my husband in my head, and which confirms it, he's given to Bowser because she needs it. Take these people back to D.C., put them on, on that bus from the border and give them back to her because, let D.C. handle this problem in Texas because we're done. And Abbott is a man. I live in Los Angeles, like I said. I kind of wanted to move to Texas, but I saw too many problems down there with, with the border and all these immigrants moving in. I didn't want to, for my safety and other things, I didn't want to move. But if it wasn't for the border, I promise I would be living in Texas because Greg Abbott is, he's like, he's a genius as far as I'm concerned in my head. So, like you said, it has to stop all this. Let's put somebody out here as a poster child, because he looks good. No, we got to really dig deeper because there's just too much going on. Of course, we wasn't looking at Joe Biden when we did this, but there are certain examples that you can use that politicians got in because of their looks, whatever. But nevertheless, we got to look at people's credentials and their resume, and nobody's looking at that. They're just looking at they say, oh, God, that person's so beautiful. Oh, let me just go ahead and throw my vote in. No, we got to stop that. So, I just want to just say something about that. That's all.
Well, thank you for your call. I appreciate you.
All right. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
All right. Shout out to the caller. Always great calls here. Let's go to 512. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, my name is Sam. How's it going, Anthony?
Everything's all great. How about yourself?
Oh, doing good. Hey, glad to get through. We might have a connection. I actually, I'm a part of a men's group. I won't mention the name, but we want to be better men, better husbands, better fathers. And I think one of my friends in that group actually went out to dinner with you and your wife. So I think we got that in common. I wish I remembered his name, but I don't. But anyway, I was going to say, I want to start with what I agree with, because I think our disagreement is kind of minor, but I 100% agree that China is 10 times worse than any other issue we've got. It has been that way for years, and the fact that people don't see it just really makes me angry. If we could just figure out some way to bring everybody on both sides on the aisle to realize, hey, we got a bigger problem. We got a lot more in common. We got a common enemy. It would unite us. But anyway, so I totally agree with you on that. But I don't agree that Russia and Ukraine should just be one nation. I think they got their independence. My wife is from Russia, but Russia's got a history of, just raping Ukraine, and they got their independence back, I think, in the 90s, and I think they should keep it. The problem is just the wrong people are fighting that war, and you got your leftist people that want to basically bring the trans kind of ideology to Ukraine. And it's weird. It's just a weird world because Russia is all about, we support the traditional family. So it's just everything seems to be turned on its head to me.
Yeah, I think, as far as Russia and Ukraine, my point behind what I was talking about earlier is that culturally they're the same. They're not that much of a difference in my humble opinion. And if not culturally, then they're the same people ethnically because it all started in Kiev and Russia and they moved out to Moscow and whatnot.
Oh, yeah.
So that's all I'm trying to say. Now, as far as them being independent nations, I understand why they're independent nations, just the same as Belarus and Latvia, Estonia, Lithuania, the Baltic states, is because they have their own governance and they want to do things on their own, have their own nation to govern and operate themselves. But as far as the people there, they're not necessarily that much different.
They're very similar. We have a nanny. We hired a couple of hours. We're not rich, but she's actually from Ukraine, but she speaks Russian. And so she's teaching our daughters. And by the way, we got something else in common. I've seen pictures of your wife. You and I both married up, man. So just letting you know. But I think they should be a different, separate nation. We lost a real opportunity back 10 years ago to make Russia our ally. And it really just comes down to we wouldn't do it because Russia has different opinions and approaches on homosexuality than we do. And on the whole trans agenda. And, it's weird. They're the former communists and they have the higher level of morality. We are a liberal, theoretically Christian nation. And I'm embarrassed by my own country in many cases. So again, it's like the world has stood on its end. and we've got far more in common with Russia than we've got separate from them, and we're basically pushing them into the arms of China, and that's basically creating an axis it's going to haunt us for many years to come.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah, I mean, if somebody were to tell me, Sam, what would you ask for? I would like to see the Chinese Communist Party be dismantled by 2050, and so that within your and my lifetime, the Chinese people could be free. Because however dangerous our world is, we would be 2 orders of magnitude safer than where we are right now. And I totally agree with you. Russia is a small economy. Russia is not a threat. We should have been tougher with them on the Ukraine war. You can't just let one nation, come into another nation. That's so 20th century. And it's just the Biden administration has done horribly on this. So yeah, it's a sad thing, but it's the ideologies that make it really complex. And what can you say?
Yeah, man, it's a lot going on with it, man. But thank you for your call. Definitely appreciate it.
Oh, anytime. Thank you.
All right, shout out to the caller. Yeah, man, my thing about Ukraine and Russia, it's like they're not the only country that's invading another country or is occupying another country. I mean, China, like I say, Tibet, that's supposed to be a sovereign country. What happened to that? Inner Mongolia, what happened to that? East Turkestan, what happened to that? Now, Hong Kong was a different story. Hong Kong was just a city that was leased to the British for a certain period of time, and the lease was expired, and it didn't renew it. 100 years, and then after that, it was like, okay, now we got to get it back. But they want to try to take Taiwan as well. They want to try to claim Taiwan. Now, here's the test, though. We're interfering or helping Ukraine with their fight against Russia. Will we help Taiwan with the fight against China if that happens, if that pops off? I think China just wants to claim Taiwan without having to fight a war. Nah, that's ours. What you going? Nah, that's. So the war might not be what they want because they know that could be the next World War III. That could be, and they'll fight over South China Sea. It'd be Philippines all over again. Like they don't want to do that, but it could happen. All right, Victor, what's happening?
Hey, thanks for taking my call.
No problem.
You mentioned at the beginning of the show you don't know anything about the Ethan Lyman incident.
No, I don't know what that is.
Yeah, basically what it's about is he's a white guy with his friends in Ohio. They were driving around with these water guns that shoot out these water pellet bullets.
Yeah.
And what happened, there was a group of young black men that were playing basketball at the LeBron James I Promise School. Ethan and his friends got out of the car, shot them with those water guns that look like real guns, by the way. The guys got upset and beat Ethan up to death. Beat him to death.
See, okay, now I heard about the body that was found at the school, but I didn't know the backstory. I didn't know his name. I didn't know the whole thing about the water guns. I didn't know all of that.
Yeah. So the issue is what happened recently is that those guys just they still going on trial. They were first charged with murder, but it reduced down to a misdemeanor and manslaughter. One person got first degree, another person I think got first and third degree, but it's either way, it's both manslaughter and misdemeanor. Reason why people are upset because of the whole context of the situation that happened. I'm on a fence on whether or not it should be considered murder or manslaughter. Reason why is because Ethan and his friends, they were the one that started the whole thing. They went up to some random people that was minding their own business and shot them with a water gun. What happened though is that Ethan France was trying to call 911, and tried to prevent his friends from calling 911 by stealing their phone while Ethan was unconscious. Then they knew that he was unconscious, and they were still beating him up to death.
Yeah.
Also, they stole his car. They stole their car.
Oh.
And drove a certain distance. Basically, you're preventing their friend to help Ethan. That's where it's kind of iffy, because it seemed like y'all went beyond self-defense.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
yeah, that's where I'm kind of just like, is it murder? Is it not? But yeah,
It won't be murder because they were approached first.
Right.
They were approached first. It was a prank, like somebody said in the chat. It was a prank gone wrong. I think there'd be some charges there because you went too far. It was excessive. They probably tried to do manslaughter or something like that.
Right.
Malicious wounding could even be a particular thing here. And then the vehicle theft, they're going to get them with that. That could be considered carjacking because of the physical altercation. I don't know, but they will have some kind of criminal penalty. It won't just be self-defense. Nah, they went above and beyond. Too far.
Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of with you that it should be manslaughter. I do understand what people kind of say that maybe murder, especially when they knew that he was unconscious. They still was beating him up. That's where I'm like, I don't know what to say about that.
Yeah, that's crazy. I want to see. I got to look into that case and really dive into it.
Yeah. So this happened a while ago, back around Father's Day weekend. Oh wait, no, before that, I want to go back to the video they did on Starbucks. They're closing 16 places.
Yeah.
One of the places is in DC, around Union Station.
Mm-hmm.
If people want to know where Union Station is, that's where all the Amtrak's and the Greyhound and all the people that's traveling into DC, that's where they go. Guess where all the illegal immigrants are being dropped off?
Right there at this station.
Yeah, exactly. That's why Starbucks is closing down in that area.
Yeah, because they probably want to go right there, and no English, go straight to the bathroom and tear it up. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So the one thing, this last one, what happened in Father's Day weekend at Tyson Corner Mall. Tyson Corner Mall is in Northern Virginia, kind of a distance from DC. Yet the metro subway, is connected to Tyson.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, you're going to get a lot of people that may not live in that area come there. There are two rival gangs in DC: Simple City and 37th Street.
They got gangs now in DC, or it's just hoods?
Hoods.
Okay.
Yeah, it's hoods. Yeah, right, yeah. But they're doing gang stuff, but they're hoods. They brought their beef from DC into Tyson Corner Mall. Northern Virginia, in this area, there's not that much crime at all.
Right.
But yet, though, because of that connection, they brought their beef to DC, to the Tyson Mall.
Virginia,
yeah. And they shot up the place.
Crazy. Absolutely crazy.
One of the person that was shooting is a rapper named No Savage.
Oh, okay. Was that so? That's what happened with him.
Yeah. And recently they denied bail because they found out that gun may be connected to a murder that happened in Richmond, Virginia.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a right for him.
That's the reason why I brought this up, is because back with Young Thug said on his trial, his RICO charge, said that the black music or black rap is being attacked. No, it's not being attacked.
It's his gang violence being attacked. That's what's happening.
Yes, and you are rapping about what the crimes that you are doing. I mean, you have no Savage. Look what happened to him. 22 G's right now is probably in jail because of a murder connection. Recently, FBG Cash, which is an affiliate of FBG Duck, end up getting killed, which that kind of hurt my heart because he's 31 years old and he's still dissing people. I don't know why. You're supposed to grow up, but like you said, I digress.
Right.
This is no, like I said, no attack on black rap at all. This is the sad part that you're rapping about your violence, and it sucks that you have all these music genre that doesn't deal with any of these violence except with the balance with rap, including black men. That's the state that we're in. That it needs to be fixed.
I'm with you, man. Right on.
Yeah. All right. Talk to you later.
Thanks for the call. All right. Good call from Victor. Thank you for that. But yeah, so somebody said about the gangs. So the gangs in DC. The reason why I say there's not gangs in DC is because there's not Bloods, Crips, stuff like that. You know, it's not organized national gangs. It's just like hoods. Okay, Simple City is like it's like a little project or whatever in DC. So it's just like little sections of the city that form gangs and they beef with each other. So my neighborhood versus your neighborhood. It's not like the way it is in LA where you have blood hoods and Crip hoods. It's not like that in DC. In DC, it's my hood is a gang, not I have a blood. You see what I'm saying? DC is not the way it is in LA at all. 215, you on the line. Who am I speaking to?
How's it going, ABL?
Everything's all right. Can't complain.
Hi. You know what's kind of ironic is that you remember from 20. Of course, you remember from 2020, 2021, all the mask mandates and the precautions, social distance, stay 6 feet apart if you're not vaccinated, and now all of a sudden, it's funny. Of course, you notice that even the liberals are like the vaccines don't even work because now it's like I went to a hospital and now they're telling me we got to follow precautions, stay 6 feet apart, wear a mask.
Hold on. One second. I'm hearing some noise. Is it like I'm hearing like some kind of feedback? I don't know what that is. It sounds like something's brushing up against. It's like static or something.
It sound like what?
I'm hearing some feedback in your microphone. Is it like static or you like outside? I'm not sure what that is.
No. Oh no. Do you hear it now?
Yeah, it's like crackling. It's a crackling noise. Do you have a headset or a Bluetooth on?
Headset. Hold on for a split second. All right, do you hear it now?
It's the same.
So the same.
So we can deal with it, but it probably can't be a long call because it's kind of there. It's kind of hard to hear.
Getting late into the show. Let me try this one thing for a split second, and then. All right, can you hear me now?
I hear you better, but I still hear this crackling in the background. Let's just rock with it for now, but it can't be a long call because there is some crackling.
I hope that. Oh my God! I hope that's not my AC doing that. My air conditioner.
It could be.
All right. So basically, I'm gonna just make it quick since that noise going on. Yeah, I was at the hospital and they said they were just. I got into an argument with a nurse because I'm not following precautions of being 6 feet apart and. Not following the precautions of 6 feet. I said, well, what happened? What happened to the vaccines and all that kind of stuff? Well, she said, well, the vaccines don't work. That's what happened. I was like, oh, wow. Kind of ironic. Even the liberals are believing that now.
So they tell you what's going on. They know because they know that people still coming into the hospital with the bug and they got the vax. They see it. Like they'll see somebody come in, get the shot, and come back a week later with the bug. So they know what's going on.
Yep, and it's funny because now it's pretty much at the point where people, it's just like the vaccines are. You don't even hear nothing about the vaccines no more. I don't even see nobody going to go get the shot. I don't see none of that no more. Yeah. It's funny because they said that coronavirus was going to be around for like the next 2 years. It's permanent, even though technically it is, but it's just the hype and the fear. It's not there no more. It's like you can literally see it. But down where you're at, it was never really a thing anyway.
Nah, not really. They tried to shut down for a little bit, but that didn't last too long. And and where I live, it's not really been a big problem with health, quote unquote, crisis. It's been all good. And the states where they have opened up and there's no mandates, they're just fine. All this doom and gloom and you're gonna die, the winner of death that Biden put out, it just didn't come to fruition.
Ah, got it. Well, here I'm about to get off because I'm starting to hear a crackling noise too because I got my headphones on. So
okay. All right. Thank you for the call. Appreciate it.
All right. Have a good one, Adrian.
Same to you.
Thank you for taking my call.
All right. Shout out to the caller. It was the headphones. See, that was a problem the whole time. I thought I asked him if he had a headset, but yeah, the headphones. That probably do it because you're getting interference from your headphone jack probably, or if you get headphones on and you don't have a headphone jack, if you got Bluetooth, that's going to interfere with your call as well sometimes. All right, let's go. 310, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Oh, ABL. How you doing, my friend? It's been a long time since I talked to you. This is Ron from Georgia.
All righty, man. What's going
on? Man, I just wanted to chime in. This is the last time I talked with you in quite a while. But, man, this world's been going crazy. It's been getting exceptionally crazy. And I just been praying for our nation so bad. And been real active in the Republican Party committee. Been going to a lot of meetings and trying to get involved with this election things. I've really been getting involved the last time I talked with you. But my main concern these days is just looking at how crazy the citizen tree is going these days as I look at New York and California. You know, I'm from California originally, and looking back and seeing and talking with my friends in California, it's still way out. Since then, I had Corona and still haven't taken this shot, but, you know, survived that, no problem. You know, so, you know, no shot here. But the thing about it is that I still talk to people that are still bound by fear with this new thing, with the monkeypox and everything like that. You know that it's being spread by the homosexual community and everything like that. I don't know why people are so fearful of all these other things. And the thing about it is that monkeypox has been around for years from Africa. They knew about it a long time ago. But the thing about it is that now it's starting to be infiltrated out here. And it's just another scam going on these days to try to get people bound in fear. And that's what the whole strategy is today, is fear. And I tell many people that I come in contact with that don't buy into all this here hype. We live in the greatest country in the world. And it's unfortunate that so many people don't realize that. And I don't understand why they don't. Because if it wouldn't be people trying to come here. It's like you were trying to tell Ivan. You know, it was so bad, why are you still here? And that's the thing about people today. These young folks, they just don't understand. I'll get ready to come up on another birthday. I'll be 68 in a minute. And yet, you know, I still look at this country as I'm so proud to be an American. They say, people still talk about, are you a black man or whatever? I'm an American. And I'm proud to be an American. There's no better place to be. And the thing about it is that, you know, as I share with my children and my grandkids and try to share it with them as best I can and do the best I can for them, you know, in my retirement days and stuff, I just try to stay busy, try to empower young people that I come across. I talk to as many people as I can, and I just share with them the positiveness of our nation and let them know that don't believe the hype that you hear over the news because it's a bunch of lies. They are raping our country. They're raping our finances. We're paying these taxes, this gas hike and everything like that. It's a rape. They're raping us. But yet the powers that be, the ones that's up in the Oval Office, oh, they getting their money. They getting out. They getting my money. They getting your money. They getting all of our money, and there's nothing we can do about it. There's nothing they can do about it. You know, but I just say that when November comes, we got to get these bums out. Get some people that are really working for the American people, not for themselves. Because right now, that's all they're doing for. They work for themselves. Unfortunately, you know, our commander-in-chief is in the back pocket of our enemies, and they don't give a damn about us at all. They don't. But I just want everybody just to remember that you're an American, believe in your country. You know, it starts with one, and I'm one as well as yourself, and I think that you're a great light to this nation, and you keep doing what you're doing, young man. And I just wanted to say I'm proud of you, and I pray for you, and I say God bless you and all those that are standing tall. Stand for your country, people. Don't let this perverse wishes continue to infiltrate us. Go back to your roots. Go back to God. And continue to stand forward. You know, so I just say, God bless my brother. I hope you just have a wonderful, wonderful day.
Thank you for the call. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Great call. A lot of good calls tonight. Let's go to 773. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
How you doing, ABL? It's your retired Chicago police officer friend.
All righty.
Glad to be on the show. First of all, the Will Smith apology. Have you ever heard more psychobabble in your life? I mean,
that was
almost
really
sounds
crazy.
like you. Go ahead, ABL.
No, I was saying it was really crazy. It was like it was a therapy session in reverse. It was crazy.
Exactly. Save it for your psychiatrist couch.
Right.
You know, and here's the thing. I think he was sincere. I think he's had time to think about how he messed up, and that he sincerely is apologizing to Chris Rock. But, you know, that's after the fact. You should apologize right away. Second of all, I really think Will Smith is a nice guy. I kind of pity him. He should have a good male friend around him that would give him a smack and tell him to wake up. You picked the wrong woman. Your woman goes out and sleeps with, sleeps not behind your back, right in front of your face, and says that there's nothing wrong with it, and it messes your whole head up. That's really what it is. You picked the wrong woman, and she drove you crazy. You know, and I'm not trying to make an excuse for Will Smith's behavior. I'm just saying, hey, somebody needs to, you know, straighten that guy out a little bit and let him know, save that for the psychiatrist couch. Anyway, my second point was going to be about the officer losing her cool. You know, some people just don't belong, just aren't supposed to be the police. A lot of people come on a police job, especially women, and I'm not trying to say that there aren't some good police women, but a lot of people come on a police job because it's such a secure job. You know, most policemen, the majority of policemen come on a job, they don't get fired, they have a regular job, there are no layoffs with the police, and a lot of them are hoping that they get inside, that they get a desk job, you know, and they're not made for the streets. So this woman has a problem. I'm sure she has a problem in her own personal life and at home, exasperated by being on the streets, and just can't act like that. You have to be, you know, you have to be on a more even keel to be the police. I've had a million slings and arrows, thrown at me, and it doesn't really matter. You know, I don't let it bother me. I don't take it personal. And that's the way it goes. But second of all, and not to say anything about the young man that's 3 years on his department, that, obviously it's a small town. It's just him and his lieutenant are out on one of the watches, and they only need 13 more police officers. We need thousands here in Chicago. In a big city like Chicago where there's 800 murders in a year, you have to show some kind of force. The criminals, not the citizens, but the criminals must have some kind of fear of the police. They have to have a little fear that they're going to get caught, something's going to happen. And I don't mean to brutalize people. I mean that if they see weakness, and this is the thing about street people, and I'm talking about criminals, street people being criminals, career criminals, thieves and murderers and everything you have on the streets of a big city. When they see weakness, they go right for it. They take advantage of it. And you know what? It's the same thing around the world. This is why China with Taiwan, when you see weakness like in this administration, where we leave billions of dollars of armory in Afghanistan, and you leave behind planes and helicopters and arms and even the pants and bulletproof vests and everything else. When you leave that behind and you run away, when you don't have any kind of border security whatsoever, and people just flood into your country, these other countries see this weakness. That's why Putin, and I don't even want to talk about, the Ukraine situation, but Putin, even if it was necessary, Putin would have not done that under Trump. But when you see weakness, boom, now Putin wants to take back some of the Ukraine. Then Taiwan sees that. North Korea sees that weakness, that we let these things happen. And I'm not saying we shouldn't let the Ukraine happen, but when people see weakness in an administration or any kind of military or paramilitary, which is the police force is paramilitary, and you see any kind of weakness whatsoever, people are going to take advantage of it, and it becomes dangerous for our country and our people. It becomes a dangerous situation. The whole reason during the Cold War that you didn't have a nuclear holocaust between the USSR and the United States was because we knew that we could wipe each other out. So there was a stalemate. Neither one took action. But once you see a weakness, you do whatever you want in the world and in the country and in your city. That's what happens. Anyway, AB, I'll let you comment on that if you want. Great show as usual. I'm glad I participated this week again. And Bill Murray's brother, because he's also from, Brian Doyle Murray is also from Chicago. So that's why we have the same accent, by the way. Just to comment on the people saying about my accent. But thanks, AB. I'll talk to you later.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate it. Great call. And he had a great point about how street people operate, and I've been around them. I'm not street guy, but I've been there. I've been like these guys I know, grew up with them. That's how they operate. If you have a sign of weakness, it's just like that where guys go to the penitentiary. If you exhibit weakness, they're going to instantly prey on you instantly. That's how a lot of guys become somebody's girlfriend in the penitentiary, or they get extorted or whatever the case, or if you're just outnumbered racially, which is a different story. But if you're weak, you're instantly going to be the prey. If you're in an environment where people, they're trying to always get over on you, always trying to lie and try to manipulate you and cheat you, that's just what it is on the streets. So if you don't show force, then you are not going to be effective as a police officer. That's just the reality of what it is. Now, if you live in a two-pony town, it may not be that way. Miss Johnson's cat got stuck in a tree, that type of thing. It might be maybe somebody sold a catalytic converter off a pickup truck, off an F-150. You're dealing with stuff like that. You're not dealing with serious organized crimes, murders, carjackings, kidnappings, violent assaults of women. You're not dealing with stuff like that typically in a small town. So yeah, that was a very, very good point. But that'll be a wrap for me. Thank y'all for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on the internets. I will be back again live on Wednesday. And of course, I'm here pretty much every day, except for Sunday, with pre-recorded videos talking about what's going on in the world. If you're not subscribed to the channel yet, please do so. Also, this is a podcast. It'll be available audio only on Apple iTunes, Stitcher, Anchor, Google Play, etc. Link for that will be in the description, or just go to your favorite audio streaming platform and search ABL Live. I should pop right on up. It'll be available tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Same thing for the Wednesday show. It'll be available Thursday morning, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, I got like two super chats to read right here, and then I think I'm pretty much done. Then I wrap it on up, put the bowl clean on top. So let me read these right here. Thank you to Tarpin Tim, who says, I love sticks, but he talks like psychedelic drugs or candy. people taking LSD seeking silly spirit journeys are going to be terrified zombies. Yeah. A lot of these drugs will terrify you and it will ruin you forever. Okay, it's not always that way. Oh, and also, before I continue with the super chats, shout out to the mods for doing what you do, keeping them trolls in check. You got quite a few bots in here trying to sell some stuff that we don't want to have in this particular area. So thank y'all for doing what you do. I couldn't do the show without you. And thank you to everybody that's watching, of course. Everybody that's, if you watched and shared and whatever you do, thank you for being here. Couldn't do it without y'all, obviously, as well. Thank you to Shreeps, who says, Anthony Brian Logan, I forgot to mention, I'm going to send you copies of Behold a Pale Horse by William Cooper, things you and I used to talk about. I'll give you a few items, got an interview on my YouTube. Okay, I'll check it out. And have you seen Beyonce's new album cover? Now you're talking about Behold a Pale Horse, right? Hold on. Let's look at Beyonce's new album. If it'll pull it up. All right. So you tell me what this is right here. All right. Aside from her kind of being half naked, which you don't really see, you know what I mean? Just look at the actual. What's that? What's this? Is it a pale horse? It's like a translucent. I don't know what you really call that. It's all kind of little imagery going on in the music industry. Things that I can't tell if it's just clever marketing to make you think that it's something that it's not, or if it's done on purpose to give you what they're trying to do to you. So, hey, it is what it is. But I noticed that right away when I saw that cover. I was like, Behold a Pale Horse, interesting. Anyway, we'll continue. Thank you to Michelle Bender, who says, ABL is the bomb. Thanks for telling the truth. Thank you for that. And thank you for being a member, 16 months. Thank you to Ori Masters 261 for your donation with the big city. Thank you to Michelle Bender again, who says, you are amazing. Thank you. And thank you to TJ Jizzle, who says, this is for the Salt and Pepper Fund. We likes the beer. Well, thank you. I'm gonna grow it for a while, see if I like it. And I'll make a decision at the end. This is maybe a week or two. I'm gonna try to grow it for a month or two and then see how that goes. All right. But I think that'll be a wrap for me. So you guys have been great as always. But until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out. And peace.